Campaign. There I go. What's good, everybody? Man, boy, look at here, man. I try to tell y'all, man. Hey, stop. We ain't gonna be able to beat the media machine, man. Twitter, social media has given a lot of idiots that don't know what the heck they be talking about a voice, and then they actually think if they say it, it means something. So we just gonna have to weather that. We're gonna have to weather that. It is what it is. I think once we announce a new coach, it'll get things moving back in the right direction. But as for right now, we just gonna have to weather that storm. And we're gonna have to be okay with seeing things that probably ain't true, and more specifically not true in some instances, and we just gonna have to walk away from it and be like, that ain't what it is. Shout out to the HBCU family, though. I know we banter, but I've seen a lot of HBCU alums, man, out on the front lines, just kind of defending Jackson State, because there's a lot of new people. There's this notion going around that we should be grateful, as if there was some type of charity going on. And you know what? The truth of the matter is, we should be grateful. But I think gratefulness is something that should exist on both sides, which is why I was so disappointed in the way things kind of ended. You know, you never want to see an ugly divorce go public. But it is what it is. We're not going to spend all day talking about it. But there's something about just watching people just get passionate about things that they have no ties to, they know nothing about, and they just run with misinformation. And it just kind of is what it is, you know? So we're going to have to do that. And we got a football game left to play, a good game to go at that, you know? North Carolina Central versus Jackson State in the Celebration Bowl. I think they having the meetings right now this week or whatever. And the team's going to be heading out next week. I want to say next Thursday. They're going to head out. Same day I plan on heading out, going to Atlanta. And look, it's going to be on and popping. We'll be back to some form of normalcy. Be last game that Coach Prime will get to coach. Like I said, I'm happy that he gets to coach this game, and we can finish. We can focus and finish and quest for that 13-0 season, man, because at the end of the day, that's history, you know. And we want it. 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 Hey, real quick, man. I was before I was getting ready to come on. It's amazing to see. Shout out to James Houston, man. The Detroit Lions are featuring James, man. Check this out. I saw this. They got 3-6 up, man. Shout out to James Houston. Says they are leading. Look at this, tied for second amongst NFL rookies. If y'all ain't noticed, James Houston's only played 2 games so far. He's already tied for rookies in sacks, man. Man, we're so proud of James Houston. This is the beautiful thing about this union with Coach Prime and his staff and his team that he was able to put together. The reality of the matter is that James Houston is forever a JSU Tiger. And everybody that had a chance to play under Coach Prime at Jackson State will forever be connected to I love the greatest HBCU on earth, man. So we proud of James. Look, Aiden Hutchinson was the number 2 draft pick. James Houston was a 6th round pick. And he worked his butt off. He made the practice squad. And man, nasty sack on Sunday. Nasty sack on Sunday on Trevor Lawrence. It looked like he rolled him up a good little bit. And so I just got a text message. And this is the stuff we just gonna have to deal with. You know, everybody that has a mouth on their face feel like they should be putting it on this situation with Deion Sanders and Jackson State. It is what it is, you know. I just got a picture message, and I'm gonna read this, and I might as well read it. It's okay. Because you understand, and this is the thing this is what we're going to do. Tiger Talk, we're going to do. We're going to actually go out and we're going to highlight everything that Deion Sanders has done for Jackson State in his time of being at Jackson State. It was a great time. But now I have a picture somebody sent to me. It says economic impact, $30 million to the city of Jackson, Mississippi, $9 million for 2022 JSU homecoming, $4 million for the Boombox Classic. I don't know where they get these numbers from, first and foremost. Recruiting, number 1 recruiting class in HBCU history, signed first 5-star recruit to an HBCU in HBCU history, most number of quality prospects to commit to HBCU in history in 2021, put HBCUs on the map nationally. Oh, I love this. This is getting good. I'm finna go there now. Television/media, ESPN TV deal with the SWAC, $120 million over 10 years. 125 games aired throughout the 2022 season. College Game Day came to JSU, only 2nd time in history going to the HBCU campus. Put HBCUs on the map nationally. Interesting. NFL attention, established HBCU Pro Day for pro teams to evaluate HBCU players and put HBCUs. It says NFL attention, established HBCU Pro Days. This HBCU Pro Days that he publicly spoke out against. See, people are trying to sell the story of Deion Sanders and is incomplete. And what they don't realize is this. You're actually helping us explain why we were disappointed that Deion Sanders left Jackson State and HBCUs. It's as if you say all this stuff and as if we're supposed to say, man, you're so right. That was some great stuff. We should be so grateful. And we are. We are. But what you're doing is you're just highlighting the fact why many people are so disappointed, because based off the vision that he sold, we started to see some things that we had never seen before, and it was very believable. And we wanted it to continue because we felt like if you stay with us a little while longer, we're going to really get things going and get things popping. But if you leave in 2 years and everything goes back to what it used to be, ESPN stops covering. And for the record, people that don't know anything about Jackson State football, all the newcomers, I don't know how many of you guys in here are new to this HBCU space. Jackson State football has always been an economic boost to the city of Jackson. It's part of it's one of its primary revenue boosters in the fall. It's not like the city of Jackson just started making money off Jackson State football when Deion Sanders became the coach. Okay. What happened? Somebody said prayers up. Somebody said Dancy is going to Colorado. Yeah, we knew that. We knew it was going to be a head coach. And that was the first thing we said. We said Coach Prime was going to take an HBCU coach with him. He's very fond of Dancy. Very, very good brother. We love Vincent. We're happy for Vincent. Go get your bag, bro. You know. And relationships matter. I wish the Colorado gig would have came a few years later, you know what I mean, where, you know, he could have stayed in that space anymore. And don't let the people of social media, of the social media world try to make you guys feel like, hey, when I'm going to flip back and forth to this banner because I don't want to be blowing my nose on the screen. So if I flip to this banner here, just know that I'm taking care of some business. 1 second. I need to blow my nose. Sorry about that. So, yeah, they did say something in so Blue and I was talking when Blue when he came and when we were sitting on the sideline before the game, he was saying that there was rumors of a potential HBCU coach going with Coach Prime. So yeah, man, happy for Vince, man. I mean, go get your bag, bro. It's nothing wrong with getting your bag, you know. The thing about it is, all people want to do is to be heard, and that's it. Then you move on. So, like I said, this picture is great, but I think people don't get it when we say, you know, that's absolutely correct. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to see Coach Prime stay in the HBCU space, because we saw some progress being made for the first time ever. And so here's this other narrative. Here's this other thing. It's like people want to scold us for being disappointed that we see him leave and go so soon, yet they want to elevate his image for having the ability to make change. That is who Deion Sanders is. That's why we wanted him to stay in the space, because he has the ability to affect change. So now there's this narrative that his coaches weren't getting paid, right? But I'm going to ask y'all a question. That's crazy, man. 237 to be a defensive analyst. Hell, he could have took me with him. I'll go be a defensive analyst too, you know. you know. But anywho, you know, happy for Vince, man. He's gonna get a lot of experience. He's gonna make a lot of lifelong, life-lasting relationships, and we'll just kind of go from there. So here's what I want to say. It's like someone has the ability to do something, yet they get credit for doing it. You know what I mean? You can't bang us over the head for not being able to do something that we've never done before. It's not until, so here's the thing. So he talked about leveling the playing field. We had a lot of coaches. In case y'all don't remember, in case y'all didn't remember, listen to me now. We did a show on Tiger Talk where we talked about how many coaches. Zoe says all the time, we got more coaches than any HBCU in the country. Okay. Doesn't mean that Coach Prime, you know, let me say it this way. We had a lot of coaches. We had like 4 analysts. We had more coaches than we ever had, right? Kenneth, a lot of fans were lying on Prime. But you know what we never talk about? The gazillion fans who weren't lying on Prime. The whole shit ton of fans that were celebrating Coach Prime. You always want to take the small few and highlight that and let the small few speak for the masses. Yeah, everybody want to ignore all the stuff that we're saying. Again, I said yesterday, people don't listen to comprehend. They listen to speak next. Because you have to turn around and explain. You can say something plainly. You can say, we are grateful and thankful that Coach Prime came to us. And no, they don't. They aren't the loudest. They were not the loudest. It's just that your volume was up the loudest on those. See, you weren't hearing all the other stuff that was out there. And see, you ain't gonna do that because I know what's also, I hear it too. You got a few folks. And then again, y'all mixing emotions with, you see what I'm saying? With like people, you act like people don't have the right to be emotional. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Somebody asked me today, well, what did Coach Prime do wrong? I said that if you listen to the people who feel how they feel, they will tell you plainly what they felt, right? And then what we do is we take what they say, we ignore it, and then we say something else. So I'm trying to get to something. I'm not going to spend all night talking about that, but I'm just making a couple of points because of some observations I saw on Twitter. Adjust your timeline, bro. I promise you there's a lot of people out there that are singing Coach Prime's praise from the HBCU space. But I think you got to see through the mud that's being slain. And don't act like HBCU folks ain't going to defend their honor. Let me tell you something about HBCUs in case you're not aware. We love our schools, man. We're underfunded. We were already underfunded before he got there. So when you start seeing underfunded issues that Coach Prime is faced with, those are some of the issues he had to face that when he was doing his research before he took the job. That's what I'm saying. It's like, yes, we had a lot of issues. We have a lot of issues at HBCU. Number one, we're underfunded. Because if we were funded like we were supposed to be, a lot of these issues that we're talking about, we wouldn't need this savior figure to come in and try to help us close the gaps of everything that is wrong and that's been wrong for 200 freaking years, right? But again, you have to be careful what you go out and sell. Don't go out and I used to work for Enterprise, my first job out of college. You know what our slogan was when we was talking about, Enterprise will pick you up. But you know what we would say? We would underpromise and overdeliver. That's a strategy. If I say, hey, how you doing? Oh, I see Marcus in there. Nook, my name's Nook. I just dropped your vehicle off at Great Daniel Chevrolet. I'm ready to be picked up. I would say, okay, Nook. All right, Mr. Williams, I'm going to be heading your way in 10 minutes. I'll be there in 10 minutes. So I just put in their mind that I'm going to be there in 10 minutes. And as soon as I get off the phone, I go get the keys, get in the car, go right down the street, pick him up. Boom, I'm there in 5. They say, oh, man, I thought you was going to be here in 10 minutes. I already know I wasn't going to be there in no 10 minutes. I knew I was going to be there in 5 because what I just did We had what was called the ESQI for those that enterprise, ESQI. We had to have, it was a customer service rating. And if you either got a completely satisfied or nothing, if you were somewhat satisfied, for everybody that run a car, if you get that survey, give them completely satisfied unless it was an issue, right? So you did a survey. That survey was, are you completely satisfied? And a lot of times people were completely satisfied because if they ask for this, I might give them an upgrade. I might, yes, sir, no, sir. You know what I'm saying? Walk them through the situation and it's cool. It's called under promise, over deliver. A lot of people felt like Deion Sanders over promised and under delivered. Not under delivered on the things that you keep saying that he did, the list of things I keep getting sent to me, on the timing of it all, because we all felt like we was close. We were witnessing some of the things that we felt like if given an opportunity, we could have some of those things, right? We could. We could have some of those things, like the number one player choosing in HBCU. We've always wanted to see that, like a top recruiting class. We've always wanted to see that, right? So for those that paid half of his salary, he didn't pay half of his salary to do the whole Walter Payton Center. He paid half of his salary, base salary, to complete it and to expedite it because he had expectations for when he wanted to be in those particular places. He had some things he wanted to do. He was allowed to put his own personal touch on those things. So let me tell you something, brother. When we're telling you, and you're in a marriage, with an entity, and you decide to invest back into that entity, don't act like the investment didn't benefit him. Because yes, he was able to recruit at a high level. Yes, he did. And you know what that recruiting class did for Deion Sanders? One can say that the recruiting class that everybody wants to throw in our face did more for Deion Sanders than it did for Jackson State. Now, hold on. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the recruiting class got us a SWAC championship. We 12-0, and now we got a chance to go win the celebration mode. For Deion Sanders, it got him a new contract. It's got his coaches paid. It got him the things that he said he wanted to do. All I just wanted to see the separation end a lot more harmonious than what it did. I feel like we should be celebrating, but unfortunately, due to some circumstances at the moment, people aren't there yet. When they get there, you know what happens when time goes by? You forget all the minutia, and then you tend to just go ahead and celebrate. But Tyke, we got a platform, brother. Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. If you haven't watched the show, Shaq and Mike B and Corey did a great job. Guess what? Me and Zoe gonna do another one with Shaq, Mike, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna help you. We are going to help you tell the Deion Sanders at Jackson State story even better. This ain't it. Deion Sanders did way more than this little measly list people are sending around. But again, you ain't gonna never get me to say that I'm apologizing because I wanted to see Shedeur play a third year and get his graduate from Jackson State. That's all it was. You're not gonna sit there and say nobody said they didn't want to. Nobody thought Deion Sanders was gonna be there forever. No one did. Most of the people said, "Hey man, I wish you'd have just stayed one more year, bro." You know another reason why people want to see Deion Sanders stay one more year? Because we play Texas State next year in San Marcos, and we wanted to see him be the FBS school. We already knew they were coming, right? We already knew they were coming. So you have to listen to what people are saying, not the idiots. I'm going to say this first. There are a lot of idiots in the Jackson State fan base. I'm going to say it for you. Some people, we just be like, bro, you can't. That person don't speak for the masses. There are a lot of sensible people. You get what I'm saying? Deion Sanders did exactly what he's supposed to do. I said today, me and Zoe was talking, I was laughing. I said, Deion is a millennial, bro. Deion a millennial. You know the saying, don't get caught in the same spot for longer than 2 years or you might get stuck. Well, we just wish we wish he would have stayed a lot longer. And all we're really asking now is for everybody, shut up and listen, man. Listen to what people are griping about. And they're just saying, damn, man, all he had to do was come in and say, I'm Deion Sanders, we're going to win. Man, you done sold us on this HBCU dream, and then we started to see the dream come true, and then it's like a great dream that you don't want to wake up from. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Next thing you know, somebody tap you on your shoulder. You're like, dang, man, why you wake me up? I was enjoying my dream, and that's what we were doing. We were enjoying the dream. We was living the dream. We weren't trying to hold Deion Sanders from his, but he would have to. I think eventually, before it's all said and done, I think he will even, you know what I'm saying? We always got exciting news to look forward to, but I live in the moment. I'm not fussing at you. I'm in the middle of something. Do we have exciting news to look forward to? Where have you been? We don't have a football coach right now. You don't think that's exciting? We got the Celebration Bowl next Saturday. You don't think that's exciting? We about to be 13-0. You don't think that's exciting? Yes, we got a ton of stuff to be excited about, but I ain't talking about that right now. I'm gonna get into that. Man, I'm gonna get into that. It wasn't all a dream. Some can make a case. Some can make a case. But what I say is, at the end of the day, what I think, if the people that can't move on from it, I'm gonna give you a few admonishments. So this is what I do sometimes. Sometimes you gotta trick your mind so you can move on. Sometimes I say, you know how you go spend some money on something, you weren't supposed to spend that money on it, you be like, man, I need maybe y'all ain't in that situation. Maybe y'all rich. I ain't rich like that, right? And I say, dang, man, you don't get the return on what you spent your money on, and you hate you. I don't live with regrets. So I don't carry regrets. So what I'll do is I'll say, you know what? I'll take in my mind, I'll take that little extra money that I spent, and I'll just mystically apply it to like a light bill or something. I'll be like, you know what, my light bill was an extra $100 a month. I'm gonna just move on from that. And I just tell myself that. You say, well, Ken, you just lying to yourself. No, what I'm doing is I'm just moving on. And whatever I got to do to not be regretting whatever, I'll just pretend whatever and just kind of move on. So what we can all do, for those that can't get over what Deion Sanders said at his press conference when he first came in the Cadillac, just pretend he said the thing that you said you wish he had said so you can move on from it. Go back into that and then just change the audio. And I know you may say, I ain't got to change the audio because he a liar. He sold us a dream. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. But you ain't never going to move on. And I don't carry it. Hey, I'm going to tell y'all like this right here. I'm a fan of Deion Sanders. I got nothing but love for Coach Prime. And again, I hate the way it ended on both sides. We could have done something better, a lot of things better. We could have done a lot of things better under the the leadership of these 2 years of Coach Prime. And many of us don't know all the things that we could have done better. I think it's going to be years to come that we're going to find out things that we could have done better. But I absolutely believe that some of the things that we could have done better, we're going to learn from it, and we're going to it's going to propel us to our next chapter and our next level. So, man, you got to walk around the people that's out here, doing what they do. I'm just telling you, Coach Prime is a machine, man. You're not going to beat him. Not going to beat him. Man, I mean, he ain't dropped that documentary yet. You might want to hold up. He might drop a nuke bomb on you, right? So I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to be done for Coach Prime with the Coach Prime stuff unless somebody asks me a question for now. What's good, boo? I got to get with you about some business, so I'll hit you up after the show. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. So that's good stuff right there, man. Collaboration. I think we all got to level up now. Coach Prime gave us the blueprint. He's in Boulder now. He's gonna be in Boulder, but he's gonna be at Celebration Bowl next weekend. And I would say this right here: if you're close enough, man, get you a picture, man. Try to get you a picture. Try to get your autograph. Let that pain, let that hurt go, man. We're gonna celebrate. At the end of the day, Coach Prime is one of the greats. He is one of our greats in our community. And we're fortunate and we're thankful that Coach Prime, and I'm pretty sure when the dust settles, Coach Prime will eventually, in his own way, thank Jackson State for giving him the opportunity of a lifetime. And the reason why I was disappointed is because I wanted to be able to stand proudly as alumni base and as a school, and we wanted to farewell him and say, Coach, you done well by us. Thank you for the time that you was here. Hey, man, go be great, and we're going to be rooting for you. But when it ends abruptly, and it ends and it feels like a bad marriage that ended publicly, man, it's just a lot. People got to get through the pain, and it's just allow them to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what? Coach Prime was good to the YouTube media, right? And I'll say this right here. Tiger Talk existed beforehand, but I'll say this. Tiger Talk under Coach Prime's tenure at Jackson State gave us pressure to level up and elevate, and we wanted to come to the YouTube space. There's a lot of YouTubers that really took their thing to the next level after Coach Prime came because the attention was there, and that's great. And what I admonish everyone to do, and what I charge everyone to do that's doing this, don't lose your momentum. Do not lose your momentum, right? Don't lose your momentum. Heck, if you want to cover Coach Prime, you go ahead and cover Coach Prime. Y'all gotta forgive me, man. I'm gonna come to the people, man. I got to come to the people. And I realize I'm gonna go off screen for a second. I realize, you know, 1 second, y'all. All right, your boy back. So I took my olive oregano. It's the hot cold that's getting you, boy. I got bad allergies, man. I done pass it down to my kids, man. Hey, Kenneth, thank you for coming on, bro. This is good, positive vibes. And all I'm trying to do is give perspective. Folks, we're not going to rush this Deion Sanders situation away. Deion Sanders has still got a game to coach in Jackson. And I'm telling y'all, man, we got to get to a place where we're at peace with this thing. You know, yesterday was a scream, holler, kick, fuss, whatever session. DJ, what's up, baby? And now we got to get moving, man. We got to get moving. We got to get busy. We got a lot of work to do because he ain't stopping. And shout out to TC Taylor, Coach TC Taylor out there. They out there slanging offers, baby. We need some dogs in the building. Yeah, y'all. What y'all think? Y'all thinking Coach Prime going to Boulder? We ain't gonna play football next year? You crazy if you think that. That's a lie. And we're gonna be good. We're gonna be damn good. I'm telling you. So I'm telling y'all, we have to continue this momentum. Yes, we do. Look at that, man. Your boy, I'm shaving this morning. I forgot I had this Band-Aid on my ear, man. Damn, that cut the whole back of my ear. I'm being lazy and just just trying to get rushed through it and then slice the whole like chunk of my, not a chunk, but the skin out. But anyway, I just realized I had that band. I had this thing on all day. I take it out before I go. I take it out whenever. Anyway, but no, perspective. I appreciate all the calls, all the inboxes, all the support. Right? Thank you guys, man. All I'm trying to do is provide another outlet for us to get our perspective there. These are my admonishments with the Deion Sanders on social media thing. I'm telling you right now, you are not going to win a social media battle with people who have already made their mind up and have decided that HBCUs, and this is what I was trying to tell people. I'm going to say it again. When you went to an HBCU and you love your HBCU, the decisions of a few can sit at everybody's front door. Everybody got to bear the burden of the decision of a few. Everybody has to defend the decision of a few. Man, you got Southern Jaguars out here who we just beat in the SWAC championship. BJ, shout out to BJ, defending us because it feels like family is being, you know what I'm saying, attacked. Because in the end, we are family. I know we had it's thee against the world, and we felt that way because of the stuff that was coming towards us. And there's a lot of people that said it would end this way. And some people we're going to have to say, yeah, you was right. I was wrong. And that's okay. But in the end, I am not going to let this shape my visual of the legacy of the Coach Prime era for these 2 years at Jackson State, 2 years, 3 seasons. This has been fun, man. I am not serious, y'all. This has been fun, man. We ain't lost a game this year. Oh yeah, yeah. You know, I'm on that all of oregano. I just had about eight drops in the orange juice just before I come on this thing. That's why your boy draining. And I'm telling you, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. I'm just draining. So y'all just gotta forgive me. Y'all work through this. We're gonna be all right. Y'all know I've been out there in them elements, man. Hot, cold, traveling all over the country. Every time I get on them airplanes, man, and come off, and even though wearing your mask and all that good stuff, man, it just happens to your boy, man. So y'all just gotta forgive me and let me get right over here. But the legacy of Coach Prime for me is not gonna be a bad one. I put out a tweet. By Saturday, I would have been able to attend 9 out of 13 games. My goal is to work my behind off, continue to grow this platform, continue to push Tiger Talk so we can grow that platform. I plan on covering the Senior Bowl, going to cover Aubrey Miller. I plan on covering the East-West Shrine Bowl, Dallas Daniels, and whoever else may attend. I definitely plan on catching the HBCU Legacy Bowl because I want to make sure we're covering HBCU players. And what I'm going to do, my goal is to get to every game next year. Blue said something. Yeah, man. I live in LA. I'm flying out of LA. 9 out of 13 games, man. And hey, it ain't easy, bro. I'm telling you, it's not easy. Yes, sir, Mr. Gaddy. We coming, baby. So about the One Monkey Don't Stop No Show. Me and Zoe said that we like, boy, you know, Karumbu gonna play that song. DJ Unpredictable gonna play that song. I mean to put bro name out there, but y'all know who DJ is, man. But we've been playing that song every single game. It's a popular blues song, might be the number one blues song right now, right? But it hit a little different on that day, and people felt some type of way. But this is what happens when outsiders look in and they don't know what's going on. See, we live in a world where social media has given people a lot of eyes, a lot of visual access to a lot of things they don't know nothing about. So here's what happens. When you're looking in on something and you don't have any context about what you're seeing, you start using your imagination to fill in the blanks. And then you start having your own meaning about what's happening. And then you push that out to the masses. And then people out here, that's why people get all these, all this crazy rhetoric that you have to defend. And now everybody's going on a defend Deion Sanders mission because there are some people out there that call him a sellout. They are. I like what Bomani Jones said. I thought Bomani Jones explained on CNN. I thought he was the best media personality out there that explained the very thing that had people emotional. And it's okay. So, nevertheless, I see people talking about the dance. I'm not shocked about the dancing because we talked about that. Some of us talked about dancing possibly leaving Valley. I was like, hey, it's a strong possibility. I don't see if, him and Coach Prime are tight. I can't see him not going if he get an opportunity. I mean, shucks, what are you going to do? Stick around Valley? And at the end of the day, if you're going to be into Shaq, what up, baby? If your expectation outweighs your appreciation, it is impossible to live a balanced and fruitful life, man. I love that, bro. See, this is why we call him the Big Aristotle, man. He always coming in and dropping that dynamite, man. Great show, by the way, Shaq. I wasn't in the right mindset to come on, and you guys, as always, Mike B, Corey, do y'all thing on Tiger Talk, bro, and looking forward to definitely putting out some more show. Hey, Shaq, myself, Zoe, we dropped that Paradigm Prime, and it doesn't matter that Coach Prime is gone to Colorado. Coach Prime very well still is the paradigm shift, but we have to see it through, and we have to capitalize on this momentum. And I'm seeing a lot of recruits out there saying, hey, they're not backing down from HBCUs. And this is the thing that you got to understand. The portal opened on Monday, like we said. There's going to be a lot of kids left in the portal. There's going to be a lot of talented kids that's going to be looking for a home. And why not Jackson State? The thing that's going to be very exciting is whenever we do name a coach, we're going to know which direction we're going. And then we're going to be excited about the staff that they're going to build, and we're going to get to know the new coaching staff as the new coach start to hire that staff. And then we're going to see them go and offer a quarterback. Then we're going to start seeing commitments. And that's when it really gets fun, because now you're starting to, then you're going to say, oh, well, such and such didn't hit the portal. We got players that didn't go to the portal. So we're going to know what kind of team we got returning. And as those commitments start to come in, you're going to start to get some type of shape of what's going on and what's happening. So I'm not saying there's a Thursday announcement. Matter of fact, I'm not even touching that, because I said something on and people interpreted that I said that we're going to be naming the coach on Thursday. I said that on YouTube, on Facebook, that they possibly could be saying that. I said, I don't know, but I could be wrong, though. So I just try not to say anything because I don't want to be wrong. I don't speak on things that I'm not fully aware of. Doesn't matter what I've heard, right? So y'all go ahead and hit that like button for your boy. Let's get them likes up, man. Let's get them subscribe numbers up. If you're not subscribed to the page, I would greatly appreciate it if you do. Turn the notification bell on so every time we go live, we're going to keep it rolling, man. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, company coming to you, giving you these JSU updates, compliments. Ken Clark 1400, Zoe 1400, Zoe Phillips 1400, the Big Aristotle, Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club family. We're going to do the work. We're going to put it in front of you guys, because the charge right now is to do more. Do more. What we used to say, y'all, we used to say HBCUs are experts at doing more with less. So when we get someone that can close the gap pretty quickly on some of the things that we don't have, of course, you're going to use that person. That person's going to use his resources. Deion Sanders, when he came to Jackson State, was not going to practice on that practice field that we had. That practice field that we had was embarrassing. Had holes in the field. It was despicable. Right? Thank you, Coach Prime, for that practice field. And the second practice field and the running hill, right? Some things that he put in place. We don't know the completion date, the exact completion date that would have transpired on the upgraded facilities in the locker room and all those things. But we thank Coach Prime for championing that and seeing it through and making sure that we make things happen. See, Coach Prime, I called him a 1%er. That's somebody that's used to, when he wants things to go a certain way, Coach Prime is ready for those things to happen immediately. He's not used to anymore, Nato, what's up, baby? Of having to wait, like we've had to become, extremely patient in seeing some of the things that we want at HBCU. Coach Prime is like, no, bro, I can't wait. I ain't got time for that. So what he's going to do is he's going to leverage his relationships, and he made some things happen. So again, there's two sides that should be extremely grateful for one another. Despite all the resources that Coach Prime had, despite all the recruiting prowess and the vision that he had, and I love what Bo Money said, he did not want to be anybody's assistant coach on the college level. He did not. He interviewed for Florida State, his alma mater, the school that he played for. He interviewed for Arkansas. They all said no. I'm gonna share something with y'all that y'all probably ain't heard me say before. And I know this to be true, but I ain't trying to break no news to you. Initially, when it was pitched to Coach Prime about coaching the HBCU, there was some resistance on his part. He didn't really want to go to HBCU. He didn't. The person who was working with him basically convinced him of the idea. Hey, coach, you should consider this because, hey, this could be an opportunity for you to, Patrick, I'm going to drop the live stream in about 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes, and I'm going to get this out, and then I'm gonna shut up and let y'all come on. So absolutely, Patrick Triplet. Be sure when I drop the live stream link, you can come on. Man, let me blow my nose, man. I'm sorry, man. This is despicable. But let me tell y'all why y'all just gonna have to suffer through your boy blowing his nose, because I got love for y'all. And I know y'all want to hear, brother. Y'all, I gotta make sure I come on and get the people what they want. So yeah, got a lot to add. I love that, bro. We gonna get it popping in just a minute, baby. Just give me a sec. Let me rock. See, I get this out. What's up, Mike Reed? I get this out because I don't want to do all the talking when y'all come on. Right. So, oh man, my big man, my bro graduate 57. Oh yes, got some love for Gat Stack. Hey, we gonna bless him, baby. We gonna bless him. Man. That's what's up. Man, I tell you what, we might do a graduation stream. We might get all the graduates, man. Get them to come on the live stream so everybody can drop them Snapchat, not Snapchats. What am I talking about? Drop them cash apps. So hey, we get paid on Friday, y'all. We might have to go in the checkbook. We gonna try to bless these JSU Tigers, man, so they can, definitely feel proud of, so they can know that we're proud of them. They can know that we're proud of them. So, anywho, man, you threw my whole thought off with that, man. The heck with what I was talking about, man. That's awesome, bro. I'm happy for them boys, man. Boys finna walk across the stage, man. I love that. So it's a monumental moment. Ain't nothing like finishing, right? So, hey, Stiff, man, I don't know who you are, man, but you just made me think about my brother. Rest in peace to my big bro, Chris Stiff, man. Love you forever, bro. Man, I saw that name and it just did something to me. Coach Prime did lead JSU in a better position than he arrived. You're absolutely right, he did. Yeah. Man, you just made me think about my big bro, man. Gosh, can't get choked up on this thing, man. Let me go ahead, and if I go off the stream, man, y'all just gotta let me rock, man. Just let me do what I gotta do. Man, I saw that name. That just jumped out. Y'all ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. That just got me right there. Woo! Rest in peace to big bro, man. Never, ever get over that. Never get over it. Never get over it. You never do. Never get over it. I was 21 years old and broke big bro. Took his last breath, and 19 years ago. To this day, man, still. Yeah, I know he'll be named the defensive analyst. Hey, Patrick Triplet, I just dropped the link, man. Go ahead and hit that stream where it says StreamYard. This one right here. You go ahead and hit that one right there for you, brother. And you come on and let's chop it up. See what you got for me. Hey man, it's cool. It's cool. Hey, I appreciate that. I saw. I'm telling you, it jumped out because that's what we called him. That's my mom's maiden name. And before she married Pops and so that's what they call him, Big Stiff. I just saw a Stiff up there, man. That's all. First thing my mind went to, my big bro. Where you at, man? Where you at, baby? I dropped the link. Don't get scared now. I'm just playing. Hey, kid. What to do, baby?
What's going on? Can you guys hear me?
Hey, I can hear you just fine, brother. How you feeling tonight, man? Thank you for coming on, bro.
Yes, sir. I'm good. I'm down here in Austin, Texas, by way of Macon, Mississippi, up in the Golden Triangle area.
Don't do that to me, man.
Stand up in the building.
How long you been in Austin, bro?
I've been here about 4+ years.
Bro, I moved to Austin 2013, bro.
Nice. So you in Austin now?
LA.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I went to LA 2 years ago, man. So nice. I'm back. Don't worry. Still got a crib. Nice. Yeah, man. I'm always in Austin, bro. But that ain't why you called. So
right.
Rock out. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me get this on my chest. I would say congrats to Prime. I mean, you did a good job at JSU. Congrats on the $40 million contract. I do want to say I think there was a way that you go about doing certain things and it wasn't done properly, and that's why a lot of Jacksonians, JSU, HBCU are kind of upset with the way things have been done. He still has time to get it right. If he's going to that Celebration Bowl game, I'll be there, but he has time to get it right if he gives the appropriate speech to make amends. If he meant well, it'll end well. And then moving forward, when it comes to HBCUs, I think a lot of people have to realize that HBCUs are not funded and supported the way that PWI schools are funded and supported. And not only just that, but also the African American community is not funded and supported the way that other communities are funded and supported. So there's a big gap in pay when it comes to the workforce, the African American community. So when it comes to donating and things of that nature, a lot of times, I don't want to say we don't have it, but the amount that we give, it doesn't equate to enough to make change. And then being in the state of Mississippi, growing up in the state of Mississippi, there's a lot of racism that's going on there. And then when you look at the whole gist of Prime bringing 30 million to the state of Mississippi, to Jackson, I'm not going to go on record and say this, but I can bet it all didn't make it back to Jackson or back to JSU. To take it a step further, to look at the Brett Favre situation, where he supposedly has taken millions of dollars from the state of Mississippi, as well as Mississippi representatives have also done the same, and nothing has been done. Yes, Jackson has expressed interest in that, and he should be punished if he's found guilty for that. So I say that to say this, that money, I don't think made it back to to JSU. But not only that, the bigger picture is there's a disparity in the pay gap between African American and HBCUs. And to take it a step further, go and look at Howard, where they supposed to have received millions of dollars, but their students were homeless. So I'm gonna try to wrap it all back up. I think when it comes to Prime, we did lose a good person to help us get to the next level. When I say us, HBCUs, African American, get to the next level. I think right now is a pivotal moment, because the Bama, Nick Saban reign, that's kind of going downhill. As you can see, nobody's checking in for Bama. So he's starting to lose a lot of recruits when it comes to going to Bama and things of that nature. So right now would have been the perfect time for us to really rally behind Prime. I do think Prime coming to HBCU was great. I don't know if Mississippi was the right place to start, given the racism that's going on there and the lack of support from the state in general. I think it would have been a great idea, definitely starting in HBCU. I wish we had got it right the first time. It's good. It's a good learning lesson, and we can take this and learn from it and grow from it. But yeah, that's just my take on the whole Prime situation. Hopefully we get it right the next time an opportunity like this come around. But moving forward, yeah, I just think as a whole, we all should just look at the bigger picture and notice that the lack of funding when it comes to the African American community and HBCU. A lot of people will say that's not an excuse, and it's not. People will give. It's just a matter of, are the systems set up for people to give properly? And then also the amount that they're giving, is it enough to even make change? And is that money going to the actual institutions and the resources that it's supposed to be going to get funded?
Okay, you said a lot.
I know, so my bad.
No. Don't apologize. It's just two things I want to address in the comments before I move on.
Yeah.
Number one, the first comment that caught my eye said, "Can we talk less about Coach Prime?" We will get there. That's all I would say. CH money sign. We're gonna get there. And the thing that's going to really propel that is when a new coach is announced. We can't talk about a coach for Jackson State until it's announced. I'm not giving a name. I'm not speculating. I'm not doing anything. I'm not, until we get concrete evidence, I'm not putting it out there. Whenever the announcements come, that's what it is. But as of right now, that's the topic that is at hand. The next thing that somebody asked me, and this is a good question, and I'm glad they asked me this because I'm going to address it. They say, why is it important that I mentioned that he did not want to coach at a HBCU initially? The reason why I brought that up is because all of the criticism that you're hearing is coming back in one direction from the other side. It's like there's a wave of just criticism coming towards HBCUs and really more specifically Jackson State. The point of the matter was to highlight that it was a symbiotic relationship. That was the whole point. The fact that initially, I'm not saying the initial thought was, and it also speaks to Coach Prime when he says, don't let my confidence offend your insecurity. See, many people would think, well, how do you have the mindset that you can just go straight to Power 5? Well, if you see it now, you see why he felt like he was able to go straight to Power 5. And he didn't have to go to FCS. Take HBCU off of it. The idea of going to an FCS, Division I AA school, and starting there, that wasn't like the thing he really wanted to do because he had a fantastic interview for Arkansas. He just didn't get the job. So that opened up the opportunity for a Jackson State. I love what you said about starting, whether or not, starting in Mississippi. Maybe it was the right spot to start at because we had all of the metrics to give the appearance of what we can be in a perfect situation. You get what I'm saying? So, for example, the stadium we play in, one in attendance, the fan base, the brand recognition once put together. So when you look at it, now hindsight being 2020, you look back on it, you say this is really a perfect union. We just weren't ready. I said this to somebody today, and we're gonna have to be. And I don't care if you criticize me for this. This is just how I see it. Not you criticizing me per se, Patrick. Just in general. Yeah. What I'm saying is, maybe the vision wasn't a bad thing. The sale. I think we just weren't ready for what he was selling. Does that make sense? There was no infrastructure in place to really, because I can break down some of the things that was kind of mentioned that we kind of failed at, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to go in that direction. But what I will say is this: that's why I use the number of coaches, because there is this misconception that there were coaches that was either underpaid or weren't paid. Yeah. I'm telling you that Coach Prime carried way more staff than we are budgeted for.
Right.
So what he did was he picked up the difference. So what you can't do is you can't make a decision that you knew was going to be operated with you supporting a deficit, and then people kick you in the teeth because that happened. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just an explanation. That's all. It's just an explanation. So I'll pause there. DJ, what's up, brother? I want you to jump in on there, and I'm gonna shut up. Go ahead. And then Kenneth just come on. Kenneth, welcome. I'm gonna pause, let DJ go, and then I'll get back. I'll get to you. What's up, brother?
What's good, my brothers? Let me start with a quote by the Honorable Malcolm X. He once said, and I quote, "It is only after the deepest darkness that the greatest joy can come."
Okay.
Right now, we're past darkness. The darkness is the shade from corporate media and their flunkies who have no understanding of HBCU culture. They're bought and paid for. They will sell their own family for butter biscuits and tokens. So we understand that.
Yes.
And I'm not going to make just like Ken, I'm not going to make a declaration or they're going to hire somebody tomorrow or Friday. Just know when you hear the news, any of us, we don't even know who it is. When you hear the news, then the process of moving on goes.
Facts.
And then you can be proud of who you have and start anew.
Hey, DJ.
Yeah, what's up, brother?
about that one point. Y'all
Yes,
don't kill me for bookmarking his thoughts. I'm gonna throw this in there and shut up. This is what I don't want to happen, because this is what we do, Jackson State. Everybody ain't gonna be satisfied. I don't care who you hire. I'm telling you right now, I've seen this happen a gazillion times. There's gonna be a sector of fans that's not gonna be happy no matter what we do. Because one of them feel this way, the other feel this way. Whoever it is, the only thing I'm admonishing to everybody do, once the decision is announced, that means it's made. So we're gonna have to say whatever we got to say, and then get over it pretty quickly. And we got to get on to supporting the new coach and as he formulates new staff. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, whoever's the new staff, I trust that Ashley Robinson is going to make sure that the vision of making Jackson State a national brand continues. Hypothetically, if it's TC, you get your staff there in place. There's familiarity. You got veterans coming back. People act like Jackson State they won't have any talent next year. Well, what's with it, kid? Like they ain't gonna return corners that run 4.4 speed or.
What David said last night. David said nobody knows what their team's gonna look like next year. You see everybody that done hit the portal, so there's gonna be a lot of turnover on all the rosters around the country. Okay, but go ahead. You're right. I don't know why they feel that way, but go ahead.
But yeah, back to the media. Here's the next playbook they're going to do. When Jackson State hires their coach and they're going to feel the presence of them moving on, they're going to keep up bringing, well, Prime did this for you. Prime did this for you. And the fans are going to be like, we thank him, but we moved on. So they're going to keep agitating the fans. That's why Ken is telling you, he's preparing you. Ignore them. You're not going to win with media. They control it. No matter what they say, they ignore facts. They ignore stats. They ignore the problems that HBCUs deal with. And it's not like we're making excuses of a situation. They're real problems. And instead of addressing the problems, they're blaming it on HBCUs and belittling them.
Yeah, this is something to behold. But I'm going to pause right there, DJ. Kenneth CH, how you doing, brother?
I am doing well. I want to say thank you for bringing me to this all-star panel with DJ and Patrick, as well as yourself. I greatly appreciate that. And I just wanted to kind of emphasize that I felt like this was the perfect storm in terms of Deion coming to Jackson State. I felt like, truth be told, he never wanted to come. He always wanted to go to like a FBS program, start as a head coach, but nobody was going to give him the opportunity. Regardless, just on top of him being African-American, he just didn't have enough of a head coach background for them. I mean, He was an assistant coach. He was an offensive coordinator at a school
Trinity Christian.
Yeah, Trinity Christian. So he just didn't have the merit to really get that job at that time. But it was a perfect storm. Jackson State was perfect. The personality was the personality as the city, the personality of the culture. It really embodied Deion. And I mean, it wasn't a perfect thing, Ken. I think you probably remember at the time there was a lot of Jackson State alums that did not want Deion.
That's facts.
They felt like he didn't have no experience. They felt like, can he coach? There was a lot of people who didn't. There was a lot of people who was like, what can he do?
Many of us felt we were going to lose the Jackson State that we knew and loved because of the figure of Deion Sanders being so large. But go ahead.
But when he came in the perfect time. He came right at the time when they started the transfer portal, and he came right at the time. And this is probably the most important, is when COVID happened. And people don't understand. The most critical thing about COVID was COVID made it to where a lot of these kids could not go to campuses. So they couldn't see the schools they were looking at. So this was basically a Zoom interview. And of course, who's the best Zoom interview person you could speak to? Deion Sanders.
That's a good point. I love that. Go ahead.
So I'll continue to tell people this, that if you look at that high school class, Deion was able to get 4 stars, 3 stars. He was killing it. He was absolutely killing it from a high school standpoint.
Deion Sanders never stepped one foot in anybody's house to recruit a kid for Jackson State in 3 seasons, 2 years.
Exactly. And he doesn't have the budget to do that. But it was amazing watching him that year one. Then year 2 started happening. And even though he put off some monumental feats like, Travis Hunter and, Kevin Coleman, for the most part, most 4 stars and 5 stars really wasn't giving Jackson State that time that they really wanted. He really wanted. And so he was basically really dealing with the portal. And he did a good job of the portal. It was very hard for him to get super impact players. He was able to get some steals. Dallas Daniels, who me and you talked about in the past. That I told you I thought Dallas was better than Corbin, and I mean I think Dallas is getting some higher looks.
I remember that. Yeah.
So Dallas is getting some higher looks now.
I got a question today. If I'm a GM, who am I drafting first? Dallas Daniels or Shane Hooks? I said, damn. Why you have to ask me that? But go ahead.
I'm definitely drafting Dallas because the route running, I can count on that. I can count on the route running with
See, y'all, we getting back to some football. So y'all hang tight. We're gonna get through this prime shit and then we're gonna get on to what we do. Go ahead.
When it comes to Shane, it's just he's kind of like a poor man's Marvin Jones Jr. You want to see him get to the point where he's being a little bit more consistent in a sense. And once he gets to that point where he's more consistent, I believe he can be, a draftable receiver without question.
I think the only thing with Shane that anyone would probably draw most criticism, he don't drop a lot of balls. He got great hands. It's the fumbles after the catch.
After the catch.
That's one thing he would have to address, and I'm sure he knows that. But Shane balled out in the SWAC championship game. Balled out.
Definitely. Hey, Ken, you know who Shane remind me of?
Who you got?
He reminds me of Benjamin Victor from Ohio State. Same height. That they didn't really have sturdy hands as much, but their moves are quick twitch for their size.
Yep.
You can see the ability of Shane Hooks. He could jump over people. He's a long strider. Benjamin Victor was somewhat the same way. Now, Benjamin Victor played in the league for a little bit, but he's still, he's USFL and other stuff, but he's been in the league. So that's anytime you have a comparison like that,
really good comp. Go ahead, Kenneth, and then I'll go back to Patrick.
Definitely. Oh, that's a great comp. And but just the final point on that is this year you started seeing a major difference in terms of recruiting. He was starting to struggle getting some of those. He couldn't really get those 4 stars because really the recruiting was in the spring this time around, and he was getting 4 stars and 5 stars to be interested in JSU, but he couldn't pin them down. And I knew right then and there, Deion was probably gonna be out. I'm like,
that's what we all knew. That's what we was like.
Yeah, I was
asking. People was like, Ken, bro, like, have you heard anything about recruiting? I was like, yeah. They just probably ain't coming to us. I just couldn't say that. Because again, I'm gonna say this again. And like I said, I'm not trying to vilify Deion because every coach does this. Here's what we can't do. We can't punish coach for the stuff that every coach does, man. A coach that now I know there's some things that you got to say, come on, bro. You know what I mean? But because there's some things that came out as far as recruits saying, hey, this coach told me don't worry about it because we're not going to be here. We leaving. Like I tried to tell folks, I'm not saying this to vilify Deion. This is when I told, if you go back and catch any of my streams early in the middle of the season, I changed my tune. Listen to my streams prior to the Alabama State game and then listen to my streams after that. I'm telling you right now, it went from this great grandioso vision of Coach Prime staying the course and really changing the game. And I believe the hook, line, and sinker. I've even got called, a Prime, blind supporter, for lack of better terms, right? But when I had that conversation with the individual that's very close to Coach Prime, and he told me straight up, Prime is out at the end of this year, or at the best case scenario for Jackson State, one more season. So that's why I started saying, man, just give me one more season. I started saying, hey, if one more season, Shador graduates, yada, yada, yada. I never saw him going past 2023. I never did. So everything I said was just more like, okay, let's just see what we can do. However, it is what it is. But I will say this about recruiting. I was exciting today. It was exciting today. And look, we ain't talking about just anybody getting offers. We're talking about 3-star, 3-star, 3-star. Oh,
bless you, brother.
You didn't respect those 3 stars, to be frankly honest with you. We just got to be honest, call it what it is. Like, if for the most part, he wasn't offering a lot of those 3 stars. If you didn't feel like you had like this special, this talent that can be a little bit, go a little further, he wasn't really giving 3 stars that much opportunities. There were kids trying to recruit other kids at Jackson State. And they would send the tape to the guys and nothing, blanks.
Hey, real quick, Jaguars foot, welcome. I appreciate you. Coach Prime brought a magnetic force. Coach Prime is a magnetic force. And when you got people that want to see it, it gave birth to a lot of content channels. Coach Prime did not. Coach Prime gave birth to the pregame show. But the pregame show, Chuck B. Neely was really a part of Tiger Talk, which we existed in 2019. As a matter of fact, there's an audio when we did a show talking about big time players returning back to HBCUs. We had an ongoing chat. And when I was told in the middle of the summer that Coach Prime, there's an audio out there when I was like, for real? Man, y'all kidding. You know, like when we was talking about that. So we existed prior to, we was mostly on Spotify and all your audio. We was audio. But after the boom of the social media platforms, I was like, it's important that we get to YouTube. So you're not wrong, but I feel like when you say stuff like that, and don't take this the wrong way, it's coming with you need to be grateful and Coach Prime did this for you type tone. It's just it's a necessary reaction of a phenomenon that occurred. So for lack of better terms, you damn right a bunch of channels popped up because of Coach Prime coming to Jackson State.
Every FCS podcast benefited from Coach Prime.
Absolutely.
Every single one.
Everybody did.
And
it was just boom.
It's because the guy did what he did recruiting wise. They did what he did recruiting wise, and they won games.
Hey, I can say this too. You know who else platform benefited from it? Well-off media. Barstools. Yeah, Sanders Jr. because he had like 3,000 subs before he got started, like 2,000-3,000 subs. Look at him now; it's almost at 100K.
Hey, Ken.
Go ahead.
Hey, before I started talking about HBCUs and JSU, I was sitting like at 3,000 plus. Well-off was at barely 3,000 at the time before this really took off. So everyone has benefited, and that's what you want to see. You want to see a diversity of independent media. So many people say we want independent media.
Facts.
But then throw jabs and say, you benefited off Prime. You know what? We all did. That's great.
And Coach Prime benefited from the union of the HBCU market in Jackson State. That's the part that
Coach Prime.
That's all we're saying. He did what he was supposed to do. Many people that have moved on would have said to you, I just wish he hadn't sold a big dream. And that's it. That's all people are saying. Nobody's saying, I ain't gonna say nobody. That's blanketed. I'm not gonna say that. I just explained that if the relationship, from what I've heard, very well could have been a bit rocky here and there. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. Actually, I do know why. I'm just not going to tell you. And I don't think there is I'm not aware of misappropriation of funds. I think there's a lot of meat in that is getting lost in the sauce. There is a way that HBCUs are set up, right? When we talk about misappropriation of funds, it could be something as simple as a disagreement on budgets, on where money should be spent. For example, if you go to the Celebration Bowl and you get a big check and the check goes into the account and they put it in the general funds when he feels like, hey, this should be in the athletic budget. Like, what y'all doing? Where I bread at? You know what I'm saying? So I understand that. That's a conversation I wasn't a part of. And that's a conversation that I think that only those two people can really have that real conversation. Knowing Coach Prime like we think we do, maybe he's going to come out and say specifically what it is, which might give a cause for our president to have to come up and say whatever he needs to say. But I can't answer that. We can't answer that on YouTube, bro. Like we weren't in the room. So
hearsay.
So stop running with the great word. You're running with the hearsay of speculation, and it's causing us to have to defend things that we really can't defend. Like I said, if there was a screw up, everybody that wears and supports JSU is gonna have to wear that on our chest like the scarlet letter, bro. Like it's exhausting. You get what I'm saying? We suffer for the decisions of a few. If it's a bad decision, we all gotta pay for it. You get what I'm saying? So that's the reality of that. So we have to make sure we're doing our part. So yeah, and then for the last thing I'm gonna say about that, we're gonna get back to talking football, which I was starting to enjoy. I had to go back to the Coach Prime stuff. I just said to you, before you knew anything about anything related to some funds, I just said to you that there was already rumblings that Coach Prime was leaving anyway. You can spend it how you want to spend it. I'm just telling you right now, Coach Prime got way too much ammo to fire back at us if we're going to try to take the blame Coach Prime for leaving early. The best thing to do is to celebrate the man for what he did, wish him well, and move on with your life. That's all I'm saying. Patrick, what you got, baby?
Yes, sir. I second that what you just said. Jackson State and Prime should show gratitude for one another. For one, Jackson State and HBCU gave Prime a platform to shine as a coach that nobody else gave him that opportunity for. And the mayor, he stood up and instead made that statement as well. I just wish he got more involved, and I don't know if this is true, when it came down to understanding the $30+ million that was generated in the state of in Jackson, and ensuring that it got to where it needed to be. Not sure. Go ahead.
I got to stop you there, and I'm sorry. Where did that number come from? Who gave it to you? No.
Right.
I'm asking, these are questions that's out there. And I'm going to pose one thing to everybody that keeps talking about this 30+ million of influx. Maybe you don't know about the city of Jackson. Kenneth just come on and talked about COVID.
Yeah.
One of the effects of COVID, nobody wants to work anymore. So you got a lot of people out here, a lot of companies out here are working on there's a restaurant that's right in the heart of Fundraising that shut down its doors because they're affected by the water crisis. So if there was no water, a lot of businesses were affected. So what about those businesses that saw a small boost that helped them keep their doors open?
Yeah.
So we got to get out of this assumption and thinking that everybody's running around with a boatload of cash and they just saying, I'm loaded and I ain't giving y'all nothing. There's a lot of businesses that were struggling, bro, like seriously struggling to keep the doors open and having to make decisions. And you know what? Thanks be to Coach Prime being here to got this wave, this HBCU wave and this new energy. And that's all I'm saying. So There are some people that can say that they
benefited from it
and could have done more, but I don't think it's everybody. That's all. I didn't want to cut you. I hate to cut y'all, bro, but keep going.
No, you right on.
I hear those numbers.
Yeah,
but I just be wondering, like, where do those numbers come from? And sometimes we can give the wrong message when we say that, because when you say that to a Coach Prime,
yeah,
and you say 30 million, and he say, "Where's the tip?" In his mind, 10%, 3 million. Where is that? Right.
Exactly, and that's the point I'm getting at. It's like whether it was $10, $20, 30 million is what you just came up with. The impacts of COVID. Like, yeah, that money could have been made, but then it could have been going back to those organizations to keep their doors open. But most people are thinking that it made it to Jackson State and they didn't do what they needed to do with the money. I'm pretty sure they didn't get that money. And I say that to say, going back to that Brett Favre situation with him taking money from the state and Mississippi State representatives being in on it. So the money is not going and making it to where people thinking it's going to.
And I'm just thinking that number is just an arbitrary number that's getting thrown around when you're factoring in airport flights, you're factoring in hotel expenses, you're factoring in restaurants, you're factoring in gas, you're factoring in all the grocery supplies that's spent on tailgating and all the things that's transpiring. There is an economic boost. But let me remind people of something that don't know about Jackson, Mississippi. And this is why I get annoyed. That is my city. That's we've been born and raised. Jackson State has always been a economic boost to the city of Jackson. There are businesses that budget their yearly expenses. Their fiscal year is centered around the fall season when Jackson State, who has been the leading in attendance prior to Coach Prime. And why do you think Memphis was crying about Jackson State not coming to Memphis anymore? Because guess what? When Jackson State shows up to Memphis, for 30 years prior to there ever being a thought of a Coach Prime coming to the HBCU space, Memphis has benefited. It's part of the economic budgeting strategy for the year. If you got a business, you if you don't believe it, ask the club owners. I'm just saying. Anywho, I'm gonna stop. Hold on. Pause real quick. She loves thee. Just came on. How you doing, sweet?
I'm good. I just wanted to piggyback off of what you were saying.
Okay.
Coach Prime used a lot of what Jackson State is great at, or what we already had in place, and he stood in front of it. Alcorn versus Jackson State, Southern versus Jackson State, our homecoming, which every time he talks about it, he says, well, we bought in this amount of money, this amount. That has always been like that. It has always been there. Now, did we get 3,000 or 4,000 more fans? Of course, you're going to get more fans when you're winning. But to credit him for the economic boost is disingenuous. The problem that we had during those time periods is we didn't have anybody shouting it out like
Facts.
nationally to everybody. Look at what we're doing here. Give us what we need. We didn't have anybody to expose that.
That's a
I
great
graduated in 2010, and I guarantee you, Alcorn, sellout. Southern, sellout. Homecoming, all these people benefited off of it. We just didn't have anybody to shout it out. Another
Right.
thing is that I wanted to talk about is because we're getting people saying, well, you guys should be grateful because he did this
Speak on
and
it.
he did that. And in reality, like the culture, the videography that you see, that stuff's not going to go away. As long as the photographers are still allowed to be on the field, the videographer, the interns, the students, as long as we're able to film it and get that out there, HBCU culture has not died off. We're not going to just disappear. And I would also venture to say that this next year is going to be really important, not just for Jackson State, but for all HBCUs, because everybody's going to be looking at Jackson State, and you can guarantee everybody's going to look at Colorado. What Coach Prime does in Colorado, they're going to reach back and still be talking about Jackson State.
That is a phenomenal point. I appreciate you so much for coming on, man. That's why I love the ladies, man, coming on.
And I wanted to say, like,
go ahead.
on Twitter, or if you see me out, there's like, oh my God, she's so emotional. She's so emotional. And I am angry and
Wait a minute.
upset, but
Are you
I'm
the one
angry
that's
and
been
upset.
keeping up all the ruckus on Twitter?
Yeah, that's me.
You know what? I'm so glad you came on.
But you know what? I think that the reason why people are saying, oh, she's so emotional, it's not that I'm emotional. I just don't like the negative stereotypes that's going to affect us. And I also wanted to quickly say this is not over. There's a
Not at all.
documentary that will be coming out in January.
Right.
And we will be revisiting everything.
Hey,
And I also, putting this out here, would venture to say that this was Prime's exit, and that is why Good Morning America, Game Day, and 60 Minutes, it was all like boom, boom, boom. And we're all trying to figure out why it happened. It's a part of the storyline. It was always going to happen, and this is part of his documentary.
that is a fact. And everything you said, I can confirm. And I'm going to take you one step further. There's also a book being written about this season. And it has been in motion for the beginning of the season. And the person that's writing the book is the one that told me that Coach Prime would more than likely be leaving at the end of this year. So what you saw was he was basically doing a grand exit, and we just didn't know about it. Now, they can spend it how they want to spend it. I'm okay with it. You know, I'm not trying to, because people will hear that, and then they'll hear one thing, and then they'll come back and try to say, well, you said this, this, and this. No, I'm just telling you what the facts are. And sometimes if you're close enough, you'll hear certain things. I do love one thing that you said, and then Travis, I'm going to let you go next. I love what you said when you mentioned that a lot of this stuff been going on, but this is one of the times that we never really had anybody that was bold enough, because there are a lot of Coach Prime said that. Y'all remember? He said that in one of his interviews. He said, I'll be the voice piece for the coaches in the conference, because a lot of them can't say what I can say because they don't have the luxury. They don't a fear of being retaliated against or having some issues or whatnot. Y'all just reported that Dancy is going with Coach Prime. I literally sat in the room when he made some statements about doing some things up in Urbana to help Mississippi Valley. And it was met with frivolous scoff, for lack of better terms. And let's just say it was reported, he reported it, he said out of his own mouth that Dancy was pretty much reprimanded for that. Like, people were mad that he was allowed to come up there. And I understand that, whatever it meant. But I'm not shocked if Dancy boats from Urbana, Mississippi Valley, head up to Colorado to go with Coach Prime, because he really do love Vincent Dancy. He really had a great relationship with him. And it is what it is, man. So there's a lot of things there. Ain't no telling what we're gonna see in this documentary. It's gonna be on Amazon Prime. So all I'm gonna tell y'all is you better brace. Brace for the impact. Travis, what you got, brother?
I think a lot will come down to, especially people from Jackson, man, if you just sit back and use your common sense and just listen more than y'all like typing, you'll figure out a lot more than all this other craziness that's going on. And another thing is we gotta quit trying to spin this off Dion. Dion has spent the last 20 years of his life figuring out how to mastermind the media. So we ain't we ain't never gonna outshine him when it comes to media. He's
At
too
all,
smart,
bro.
too intelligent. He been thinking of this stuff way. He was thinking about this probably the day he arrived in Jackson, more than
Man,
likely.
Dion the guru, man.
And I think
Leave that
another
dude alone.
thing y'all not thinking of is this really a tactic probably by Dion. He using us to promote his own. Colorado ain't never been heard of except what 72 hours ago. Dion using us to promote his own brand and to build Colorado up, and we just don't know it.
Have y'all seen the already economic impact that's happened in 24 to 48 hours with Colorado? They've increased, what, 170, almost 200,000 followers on social media. Merch sales are through the roof. Partnerships through the roof. The economic impact for Deion Sanders in Colorado is going to be insane. It's already on that. And I'm telling you, Mr. Pope, Sam, what's up, baby? Good brother right there. Man, I can't. Hey, bro, we gotta sit down and do something. We gotta do something again, bro, because it's time now. Now that we know kind of some stuff. My goodness, man. Travis, you said a lot, bro. You said a lot. And I'll say this: you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win. Best thing we can do, brace for impact, take the hit, take it on the chin. You might hear something you don't want to hear. You might hear something that might feel a little bad. We might have to defend it for about a week or two. But just know that after a while, it'll blow over. You know what I mean? So the best thing we can do is just, like I said, leave that man alone. Let him go on, coach his last game. We farewell him. We thank him. We benefit from it, and we go from there. Because here's what is going up on the frame in the album. That ain't never going away. You see what I'm saying? They got Jackson State on their
I can say this. If you Ken, I can say this. If you notice, we just got a video put out about probably 13 hours ago that says it literally in the title. It says what you don't want to see, and I heard him make a remark, and like it kind of sounded like y'all keep playing me, you want to. That was kind of him throwing haymaker. Like you keep on. As we all know, he always brings the fact he keeps deep, whether he right or wrong. He always keep those. So he just put out a video, basically like, "Hey, y'all keep on. Like I'm Dion. I'm prime time. Like y'all not gonna outdo me in the media. So this y'all last and final warning." That's what I took from
well.
that.
I mean, that could be the case, and you know what? He could do it anyway. But at the end of the day, even with that being said, it still don't take away what he said, and that's why people got how they. That's why people felt how they felt, and that's why I said we should move on, and get focused on us. You know what I mean? I'm telling y'all, the things that are gonna come, the things that's gonna come down the pipe, man. As soon as we get a coach, we're gonna do a full show on the coach. We're going to talk about his pedigree. We're going to talk about his background. We're going to talk about what we think is going to be the trajectory for us under the new coach. I got Big Bro in the building now. The big Aristotle. What's up, baby? Up in the what's going on, man? I'm going to leave that alone. Go ahead. What you got, bro? Shaq, what's up?
What up? What up, man?
Man, you got it, baby. Talk to me.
Look, I needed to piggyback on what somebody was saying, and I forgot who it was, but
Travis?
Prime is a marketing and branding machine.
Yep.
If you go back in hindsight and you look at all of the moves, everybody can start connecting the dots and you can see that this was all planned. This is planned from the very beginning. And the thing that's the most frustrating is Ken is right. we need to brace for impact for a serious dose of reflections of who we are as a people when this documentary comes out. This documentary has an opportunity to show us in a positive light as well as a negative light, but our flaws will be exposed.
Mm.
So I'm telling y'all that now, our flaws are going to be exposed in this. So if we really serious about our love for Jackson State, the most important thing that we can do is unite right now, financially, emotionally, spiritually, whatever the case may be, is stand together and make sure that we protect the brand. Because you're not going to beat Dion in a marketing match. You're not.
Nope.
He got too many people behind him that's pushing multiple narratives to his benefit. And that's it. I mean, at the end of the day, just get ready. Get ready for a dose of truth. And look, let me be honest. We got some blame in this, y'all.
Yes, we do.
We got some blame in this, and we have to own that.
Yes,
we got to be accountable for this. But this is a learning lesson for us. So let's just take this ass whipping that we may get. Okay, okay, take it for what it is, and then after it's done, just do better and say, all right, we're gonna take it from here. We're gonna correct these mistakes. We're gonna get our house in order, and then we're gonna reach the pinnacle of the mountaintop.
Hey man, listen. Not only is there, I'm gonna say it again. This is not a scare tactic. This is not something to make you get nervous about. This is just, listen, man. You know what makes me nervous? Not knowing. The anxiety of not knowing what's happening. Most of us could actually tolerate if you kind of know what's coming. You know what I'm saying? It's the unknown. So we know there's a documentary. I think it's going to be like Shaq. I like the way you said it, bro. It's going to be some really good things that's going to be shown. And it's going to be some opportunities. I'm going to use the word opportunities. The opportunities will be highlighted. And the thing is, we have this notion in our HBCU community to always want to sweep stuff under the rug and not address it. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. We just going to pretend like we don't see that big old elephant sitting over there in the corner. And all we're saying is that we want to just do better. He said it the whole time. He said, better business, better business, better business. Well, we're going to find out what that means and what that looks like. Like I said, I don't think the vision was wrong. I just think the timing, it was a perfect storm, man. And now we got an opportunity. That's why I'm admonishing everybody, go harder, go bigger. Let's get more organized. Whatever our gaps are as a base, let's start working on that now. You know what I mean? Let's start putting that stuff in place now. And I don't see no reason why we shouldn't be ready for a financial revenue generating campaign that should be ready to roll come game one on that Jumbotron where people can donate coming to the game. I don't see why that wouldn't be in place. I don't see why that can't happen. Because all you have to do is tie it to the link that we give anyway. You just need messaging and you need the right delivery and you need to just capitalize on your opportunities. So anyway, I'm not to just get long-winded and ramble. I'm just saying, like, not only is there a documentary, but there's a book. And the truth shall set you free sometimes. But sometimes we don't want to. I have a saying, sometimes we want to be lied to. We don't really want the truth. We really would rather be lied to than to hear that you got a booger in your nose, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't sit up here and see me with a booger in my nose and you see me talking knowing I got to go in front of all these folks. You ain't say nothing. You know what I mean? But let me know so I can address myself, clean it up, then I go out there and be ready to roll. Who else I got there? Kenneth. We'll go back to Kenneth. Can you got anything?
Oh, sorry about that. I was on mute.
No, you good?
Yeah, I think I'm just to Kurt to what everyone's saying. I agree. I mean, the biggest thing we have to understand is this is a great opportunity for Jackson State, for the fans, for the supporters, because this documentary you're going to see, this is a goodbye documentary in terms of Jackson State. But in reality, it's a chance to see ourselves on the mirror and say, you know what? Here's what we can do. So if we hire TC Taylor or whoever, they can succeed moving forward. I think right now what Deion gave us a savior figure, somebody that financially could take care of this, he could take care of that. We don't have this. Okay, Deion's going to cover it. What happened was we became too dependent on one individual, and when that person took his resources, he took our pride and our spirit with them. But truth be told, it should never be that way. And when you got a fan base as loyal, as strong as JSU, when you have a fan base this strong, this loyal, man, you got to take that to the moon. I mean, this is a great fan base. We're talking about 33,000 before Deion came. 33,000.
Hey, I got players to the base. We got to hit 45. And Zoe saying something like this right here, I thought was cold-blooded. They're going to sell out Boulder. They're going to sell out Boulder, Colorado Stadium. It holds 50.
But Boulder, that's another place just like JSU. That's a sleeping giant just like JSU. They sold out half of their games last year and they won one game. They rushed the field after winning one game. That one game they won, they rushed the field.
That means
like JSU.
The max is going to be what, 50?
Oh, yeah. I think it's like 53 or something like that. But they're going to stay. They already sold out their season tickets.
Yeah, they will. But we gotta show up and show out, man. We gotta show up and show out. And I think we can do it. Go ahead.
What Deion showed us that this is real. Like the possibility is real. Like Jackson State, just like the rest of Mississippi schools, are dealing with a government that's really trying to mess you up. Like Alabama gives to A&M and State. Louisiana gives to Southern and Grambling. Prairie View is in the A&M system. That means they got more athletic resources than anybody else.
Facts.
But unfortunately, when you're in Mississippi, you're dealing with a governor like Reeves. You're dealing with a lot of discrepancies that others don't have to deal with. And that is that's a challenging thing for JSU. That's why I said Deion came to the perfect storm, because he came into a situation that they were like just how Colorado's dealing with elements where they have a poor recruiting map. What JSU was dealing with was a terrible government trying to screw everything they're trying to do, which is why all the Mississippi schools are having to overcome. It's unfortunate.
Man, you're preaching right now, bro.
I ain't gonna say all the Mississippi schools.
And
I'm talking about the HBCUs.
But
okay.
Yeah, Ken, there's a quote that I've heard years ago, and it was like this: adversity will reveal the potential that you have, up or down. So this adverse situation is going to either make you or break you. I truly feel next year that Jackson State fans, the alumni, they're going to be like, we're going to show them that we're going to pack out the stadiums, that we're going to donate more to the school. Because when you have so many people making fun of your university, your history, saying you didn't do this before, the coach was there, making up bullshit, it does something to you. So I can't wait to see what it all looks like next season.
Hey man, somebody said in the comments that they're going to that UCLA Colorado game in LA. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna go to that one too.
Reggie,
I can't even sit over here and lie.
That's gonna be a great game. But Reggie, I want to make something very clear. Yes, you're right. They had these issues about funds before Reeves, but before Reeves, it was still a garbage governor in there.
Bryant, who was part of the welfare scandal, who should be in jail.
It's not. It hasn't. Mississippi has an issue with Mississippi. Already is a poor state. It's already a poor state, and you're dealing with a poor state with white supremacists that get put in power. What's happening is HBCUs get dealt a bad hand. I'm from Georgia. Let me tell you something. If you're not in the AUC and you're at HBCU, you're struggling. That's a fact.
That's the thing. That's the biggest issue with a lot of this stuff, though, man. Is the lack of, like, the ignorance that circulates of the unknown. And then you got all these people that are not a part of this, that wasn't affected by this, might have went to a PWI for whatever reason. That's your business, whatever. And then you got so much passion and so much vigor towards those that did go to HBCUs, and you sit there and try to tell us the stuff that we had to deal with instead of utilizing your face. What I mean when I say your face, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. You should probably listen more than you talk when it comes to that particular issue of HBCUs. Listen, and we'll tell you what we're up against. But what they'll say, anyway, I'll leave that alone. But you preaching, man. And we're talking about years and years of underfunded issues. Go ahead, Trav.
I would say next year gonna be our best year. Here's why. Y'all know that family who don't never get along, but as soon as the neighbors start running their mouth, the whole damn family just come together as one, and they the strongest family on earth put together. That's
Yep.
what we're gonna see next year.
I like it.
I think it's gonna be a great team, Ken. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that
Telling
many people are
you
gonna
it is.
leave. I don't believe that many people are gonna leave. I understand some are gonna leave. Like a lot of those guys who left, a lot of those guys got like they played in one game, 2-3 games. I'm not sitting here saying they're not important, they're not gonna be significant, but you know, you can replace those guys. But I believe a lot of the kids who can play, like Savion, I believe they're gonna stay. I mean, you're gonna have to
Savion, you ain't going nowhere if you listen. Don't you,
Yeah.
hey man.
No, you're gonna lose some players. You're gonna lose some really
Stay
good players.
with me.
Don't
I
go.
think a lot of
Hey,
players.
hey, Gaddy, I'm
right
gonna start. I ain't gonna sing to you, but you know what I'm saying. Hey,
Ken
man.
Ken Gaddy might be gone though. That's the
Hey,
thing.
Gaddy ain't go. Hey, Gaddy, don't you put that out there in the no. Gaddy is gonna be the preseason All SWAC Defensive Player of the Year coming into the season. What you talking about, Kenneth? No.
I do think he's somebody you got to worry about. You got to worry about him, Monte.
No, I'm gonna keep. Hey, I got Big Daddy Gaddy. You in here? Don't you let him go nowhere.
Hey, Big Daddy Gaddy, he love him to death, but you know that NIL money's there now. That NIL, the NIL.
Hey man, I don't know nothing about no Oregon, bro. I ain't never been to Oregon, man. That might, I ain't never done that.
Though. That's gonna be lit.
I'm gonna say it like this right
A
here.
lot of players gonna stay to write their story. Like they gonna use this to their advantage and stick. Because you gotta take in mind the culture and the foundation is there. They see it. One man just left. It's still there. You can tell that they still got their pride in the videos. You can tell.
They still got a lot of talent,
man. Them guys feel like, hey man, I love what you said. They got something to prove.
They got a lot of talent,
prove, man. I think they're gonna go out there with a chip on their shoulder, especially with the right hire. Like I said, the day y'all don't want to hear no more about no prime and all this other stuff. The day we get the announcement for our new head football coach, we're doing a whole show on the coach. A whole show. That's all we're gonna talk about. We ain't talking about what woulda, coulda, shoulda. Back in the day, it's gonna be strictly about the coach. And then guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna come back, we're gonna do a show on the staff. We're gonna do a show on every single recruit that commits. We're gonna get them interviews fired up again. Because what we're gonna do is Tiger Talk. Yeah, the crew is half of the crew, you know what I'm saying, in Mississippi. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna meet with the coach and say, hey, listen, what do you want us to do? What do you like? Because we're gonna make sure we love on these kids, man. I'm lobbying for my man APV Visual off of Twitter to be to come on over to Jackson State and take over this media. No disrespect.
That video he just put up was fire.
Because here's why I say that. I don't know if Illuminati is still gonna be there. I don't know. He might get an opportunity with Coach. Everybody that was with Coach Prime just might get an opportunity to go to Colorado. And listen, if you in videography or film, and you this is your break. If Coach Prime offer you, man, you better get your butt on that plane and head to Colorado.
Like if you
can get you a 1-bedroom and live like a photographer and travel back and forth and get the money, right? Trust
me. Ken, I just read that he taking one of the police officers from Jackson State with him.
Yeah, McGee.
I'm not surprised. He brought him on the plane.
Well, let me say it like this right here. Since the cat's out the bag, McGee might have something to say. Well, that's how we knew he was going to Colorado. I knew on Thanksgiving Day it was a done deal. He said, "I'm taking him with him, huh?"
He's taking everybody with him. Mo Sims probably going to go there too.
Mo Sims, hey, hold on. Mo Sims came to Jackson State to go with Coach Bryant. I can tell you that right now. You ain't leaving no Georgia to come.
I mean, look, as I said, man, if you look at this hindsight, everybody can look at these moves and be like, Tim Brewster coming to Jackson State? That don't make no sense. Okay, I like it, I love it, but Tim Brewster, and then you see Mo Sims, Georgia, Jackson State.
It didn't make sense. Really. I'm gonna be real with you. It didn't make sense when I heard Mo Sims was coming from Georgia to Jackson State.
Man,
he took a pay cut.
We was like, look, man, hey, they might be here on a barred season. You know what I'm saying? Just stick with me for a little minute. And we looking around like, man, there's a lot of coaches in the building. All makes sense now, don't it? Mike Zimmer. Like, man, all that for Jackson State, but we was living a dream.
Yeah.
It was all a dream. Like you said, right? You know what I'm saying?
The writing was on the wall. The writing was on the wall.
Hey, kid, we was in the whole house until the pimp came in the room.
Hey, that's how you gotta do it. You get through this stuff through laughter, man. This gonna be funny as hell in a little while, y'all. Y'all know it is. And after a while,
when you start thinking about it, it is kind of funny. It really is.
It ain't gonna be as painful as it was. And then after a while, we just gonna be laughing at, man. Talk about, man, y'all remember when Cole Prime was here, man? Cole Prime had duped all of us.
Oh, think about when you first heard about Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer coming to Jackson
I don't know
State.
about y'all. I'm like, Ken, I'm at step 5 at this point.
Think about it though. Think about
hey man, I came like a recovering alcoholic. Y'all don't know how painful I was in so much pain. I'm on these live streams just like, I'm saying to myself, like, yeah, you don't know what's gonna come down the pipe though, and I can't say it. When it comes, I'm gonna drop that hammer on your head.
But y'all gotta be honest though. What was y'all reaction when you first heard
Life? What's up, baby?
Peace, brother.
Hold on. Look. My reaction, Ken will tell you. Man, I called Ken, and me and Ken and Zoe was like on 5-7 different calls, man. Look, Ken was right. You go through the 5 stages of grief. I went through mine in about 2 days because I'm a spiritual guy, so I kind of see this for what it is. But look, when I first heard, I'm not gonna lie, I was ready to bust every window in my house, every single window.
I'm gonna say it. He said, "Damn."
Yep.
Bro,
yep.
I said, I believe.
No BS, y'all. I was on. Somebody must have felt like I need to be on the diet. I'm telling you, I was on plate number 2 on Thanksgiving Day, and I was in the middle of eating my turkey, man. Like that ass, bro. I'm not even kidding, bro. I could have just threw the whole plate in the garbage can. I ain't want whole appetite gone, man. I said, Lord have mercy. You can't, man. Are you serious? I told y'all the Usher video, man. Stop playing, man. I'm telling you. Anyway, all right. So, Silent Life, what you got, baby?
Hey, peace, brothers. How y'all doing?
Peace to you, brother.
Hey, I got some ideas I've been working on, Ken, for some fundraising, and I think.
Go ahead and shoot. What you got?
I don't know if they've been thought of before, but I was proactive. I was thinking about it early this morning, actually. And so it came to me. I said, okay, what could we do outside of the box to have a good fundraiser that'll be a mainstay, right? So I came up with like 3 or 4 ideas. Y'all tell me what you think and if they've been ran if they've been brought up before. So one of them was that
Y'all
we
hit
take.
that like. Go ahead.
That one of them was like we take. We have a national contest for uniform design, right? Nationwide, so people they have to pay $100 to enter into the uniform contest for the school football uniform, and so then the winner, whoever wins, their uniform will be added to the collection of the uniforms for Jackson State. That's the first one. All right. Second one was that the same way that College Game Day is set up, right? We set up a we have like the campus, select people from the campus to come in. We have security there. We have buses pull up, and we get David Banner there. For one, we called David Banner, asked him to donate $10,000, right? In exchange, we want him to come to the school and have a listening party for whatever new album that he got out. Have a listening party or album release party at the school. So the first time that he introduced his product, his his artwork for his album, and the album itself will be from the JSU campus, and it'll be in an atmosphere like College Game Day, but we'll have security, and he can have also his own security and have some good sound engineering. Okay, that's number 2. And then, you know, we could do the same thing for Big Crit, and then they can have QR codes on their album cover in the backdrop, right? Okay. So then the third one I thought about in conjunction with that is that every time that we have somebody that comes and visit the school, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So every time somebody comes to visit the school, that's like of some type of VIP status, right? Like you have American Airlines come through, you have the mayor, any congressman, any senators, et cetera, like that. You know, whether they be from the state of Mississippi or any other delegates from Fortune 500 companies that come through. We have a VIP welcome delegation from Jackson State, and we asked them if they could, you know, pledge a gift, you know, to the school, if they wouldn't mind, while we have them face to face
Yeah,
before they go to meet whomever that they go to meet. You know what I'm saying? Just like you know, we asked it in a good way, you know, style it real well as a welcoming, a part of the welcoming package. And then as they depart, you know, we give them like a varsity jacket, one of the flags for a JSU, maybe like a button or a pendant or something like that, as a thank you. You know, like a thank you basket for them. You know, should they donate? You know what I
so
mean?
I think you got a lot of ideas, bro, and I don't want to, you know, I hate to interrupt you.
No, that was it.
No,
That
no,
was my last
what
one.
I think you should do. I mean, all dope ideas, but I think you should like get the email address for like the AD Robinson,
Right.
and I would put it in a nice professional letter, and I would send it off, bro, and I would just ask him to, you know, to reply and, you know, maybe follow up with you or whatnot. Speaking of the uniform, somebody said, "How did you get out of the uniform?" We all know Coach Prime had a hand in that because we had a great partnership with. But again, the uniforms is a recruiting tool.
Right.
So when we talk about uniforms, and Coach Prime, you leveraging his relationships to get us new uniforms.
Right.
If he was recruiting kids and they won, he benefited from that. So it wasn't just Jackson State had all these uniforms. You needed players to actually play in the uniforms, and he needed some dogs to go out there and win. And we 12-0. So that 12-0. If he wasn't winning, we'd be like, man, this is a bad experience. We need to move on.
Right.
To Coach Brown. Y'all know that. You know, yeah, with Coach, we love all your resources, bro. But you ain't winning no games. And y'all know how that goes. So Lumumba. What's going on? You might be you're on mute. You're on mute. Lumumba.
Going once.
The hell?
Gone. Going once, gone.
All right, there you go. I can't hear you though.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you now. There you go. You went back on mute. All right, I'm gonna unmute you. Don't do nothing. Can't hear you, brother. If you're talking, I can't hear you. All right, go out and come back in, and then we'll go from there. Who was that just came back on? Travis. That was Travis. Yeah, we ain't gonna. Man said GT. Somebody said this the mayor? No, I don't think this the mayor. Maybe related to him. Not. Nah, that was laughing at the mayor being in here. Nah, that wasn't the mayor. I know the mayor personally, so I ain't. He probably would have had Anton on that thing. That's my boy right there, man. But no, man. Who was we on last? Who was we last on? Lumumba coming here and just messed the whole vibe up. Oh, I'm just playing.
What the
Stiff.
hell?
Hey, Stiff, go ahead and call back in, Stiff. Go ahead and call back in, Stiff. You I know Stiff wanted to get on and join, not call back in, but come on back and join the stream if you want to come on, bro. On you, DJ.
Yeah, man. Hey, Ken, panel, y'all can answer this. Anyone? What is the matchup you're looking forward to in the Celebration Bowl? Like the key matchup that's the most entertaining.
Davis versus Shador.
And then, and my secondary matchup is our D line against their O line. I want to see how they're gonna match up.
Okay.
I want to see if we're gonna be able to get some push up the middle, and if our edge rushers are gonna be able to get loose to put some pressure on their quarterback.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think NCCU has seen a defensive line like ours yet, or a defense like ours yet, and the speed, the team speed that we have. So I'm interested in seeing how they're going to adapt to that.
That's gonna be interesting. That's a good point. Stiff, what it
Yes. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
do? Man, I'm doing wonderful, man. Almost got me choked up with that name, man. What's on your mind, brother?
Hey, so what is your take on Coach Prime coaching the last game? You know, I've been hearing a whole lot of stuff from a lot of fans, alumni, members saying that they don't want him to coach the last game. He shouldn't coach the last game, and so on and so forth. What is your take on that?
It's a very simple response. Get out of your emotions. You don't make business decisions with under emotions. And here's what I mean. Who do you think is going to coach the game if Coach Prime is not going to coach? If he's taking half the staff with him, you're probably not going to have a staff. You're probably not going to have a quarterback or none of the players that's going with him. They might just all hit the portal and just leave. So you have to. There's a lot of money invested in the Celebration Bowl. It is important that the Celebration Bowl does not look like for lack of better terms, a shit show, because you've stripped it of all of its great, rich talent that everybody wanted to see. This is a great opportunity. The best in the MEAC versus the best in the SWAC. And at this point, it's time to put the emotional stuff to the side, man. We at the end of the day, my take was he absolutely should coach it, because if he doesn't coach it, then Shador ain't quarterbacking. He's not. That's not something that was told to me. I'm just assuming, and I think
that's common sense, though.
Yeah, that's a great assumption. Now, Stiff, if Shador is not passing the ball, you know who that hurts? Dallas Daniels, Shane Hooks, who's both trying to get drafted, bro. And I just think that'll be criminal on our part. This team has earned the right to go play, man. Like, let them finish. What's it gonna hurt? What's it gonna hurt? You see what I'm saying? He's already back at the campus. Got Jackson State gear on. He's just at Colorado. We know. We saw it.
Yeah.
We understand.
I would advise, and Ken is 100% right. I would advise any fan or anybody who's troubled by this decision, go to a piece of paper, draw a line in the center of the paper, and then draw an adjacent line on it and put pros and cons. And then document all the pros of them playing and coaching, and then document all the cons. And I swear to you, I promise to you, at the end of the day, it benefits us and it benefits the university by letting Prime coach this last game. By far. Ken already gave you guys the top 3-5 reasons for doing it. At the end of the day, the major reason why we don't want to is because we in our feelings.
That's it. And I'll say this too. I ain't pay no damn $700 round trip and another $5 to stay at the hotel and another $400 for tickets. Man, hey, that's $1,500 to go out there. But with all due respect, we ain't go out there to see no dissipated half put together team with 3 coaches on the sideline. Come on, man. We don't want to see that.
Also, don't want to throw out the chemistry.
No, man, man, this is about history. Let's get that. At this point, Jack State should be selfish. Yeah, coach, go on out there and coach. We need that 13-0. and then we'll see you later.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? Here's the other thing, man. All right, I got one for you. If you're going to gripe about Coach Prime leaving and not speaking to the media, he did go to the room. We were told that. He did go to the room. When he went to the room, now the flight was booked. It was booked. They had to get somewhere. They had to be somewhere. After that, he was like, you know what? Who you said you'd rather take the L. I ain't taking no L for no emotional stuff. I done made too many decisions in my life that I look back on and say, you know what? That was just stupid. I should have just got over that real quick and I could have been all right. Right?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is this right here. At the end of the day, man, it's not fair to the players, bro, that they don't get a chance to finish. In my honest opinion, it ain't gonna change the outcome or nothing. Everybody that complained that he didn't speak to the HBCU media, everybody gets a shot now to talk to Coach Prime, and you get what you want to hear. I want to hear him talk to the media. I want to see him speak to HBCU game day and some of these other media outlets that did not get a chance to cover him for one final last time. Maybe I'm thinking about it from a business standpoint, and I'm not thinking about it from the standpoint of solely Jackson State. The Celebration Bowl is not about Jackson State. The Celebration Bowl is about celebrating the SWAC and the MEAC. And if you win the SWAC championship, you deserve a right to go to the Celebration Bowl. We also got our ass kicked last year in the Celebration Bowl by South Carolina State.
Hey, Ken, you can also think about it from this point. We got to let him coach because that's very important for us for recruiting and carrying that momentum into the offseason for us. So
that's a great point. That's a great point. You want somebody to choose Jackson State, and Jackson State won't allow. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody might take the. So then we're going to be defending somebody else's decision to not let Coach Prime coach. And you might be okay with the decision, but we're going to have 11 freaking media outlets on the internet talking about and doing shows. You're going to have Stephen A. You're going to have Shannon Sharp. You're going to have Jay Williams. You're going to have Jalen Rose. You're going to have everybody named Mama talking about Jackson State was wrong. And that could absolutely kill your momentum, all because you made one emotional decision. The man already done won the media over.
When we gonna hear is
we ain't gonna win this media war.
That's all you gonna hear.
And Ken, and with that being said, I also hope that the fans are not booing Coach Prime when he take the field.
Hey, well, I'm gonna just tell you like this right here. You might not want to hope that. Don't get your hopes up on that one. That might happen.
If they do, we gonna get the same scrutiny that you just referred to by the same platform.
I would hope that they wouldn't, but we know our people, man. You know what I'm saying? It was about 16 people that booed at the stadium when they announced him in Jackson. It was about you heard a little bit of ooh, you know what I'm saying? You heard it back there. But it was mostly cheers though. It was mostly cheers. At the end of the day, man, let it go, man. Let it go and move on. It ain't gonna change nothing. We have to think about preserving the tech, preserving. What's wrong with it? Okay, I got one for you. And I'm gonna let Randy, what's up? I'm gonna let you go. Actually, Lumumba, if you can get off mute and come on and speak, I'm gonna let you come out of this. Question: what's wrong with being a bigger person if you feel like you were wronged? What's wrong with forgiveness if you feel like somebody did you something? If we feel like Coach Prime really did us something, what's wrong with saying, you know what? I'm going to take this one on the chin. We're going to go ahead and do what's best for the kids. And I'm going to get out of the way with my ego. I'm going to go ahead and let you finish coaching. And we're going to let you fare well. And we're going to go from there. I said this to a lot of people. A lot of us go to work every day with people we can't stand.
Sure do.
You ain't going to go up there and smack them in the back of their head and get fired and get an assault charge. No, what you're going to do is you're going to go to work. You're going to tolerate them. You're going to say, you might give them a look or something, but you're going to smile and keep moving. How is it that we can be fake every day, Monday through Friday? I'm just hypothetical. But all of a sudden we can't have some professional decorum for a day, one day. You don't see the football team like that, no way. The only time you're going to see Coach Prime is when he hit the media and when he run out there in that field and when the game is over with, hopefully he open up the trophy and after that he gone. Why not? Anyway, who want to go? Randy, what's up?
What's going on, y'all?
Got it.
All right. You know, I truly believe, man, that something greater is going to happen for Jackson State. You know what I mean? And it's important that during that celebration game that you guys show as much class as you possibly can, right? And welcome the new coach like you welcomed him. That's the only way that I feel that that's going 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 to work seriously, because like the next person is probably, if I'm looking at this right, it's going to be just as big.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because that's what worked for Jackson State. It's going to be a big name who's going to bring in bigger recruits. You know what I mean? The only thing is that, the stuff behind the scenes has to get cleaned up for Jackson State to go to that next level.
Great point.
Seriously. I mean, it is what it is. You guys got a taste of the business side of college football.
That's facts. I like what you said, bro. I'll say this. I'll add this, and then I'll go back to either solid life. From what I'm being, all right. Let me see how I can put this. From what I was told, I'll say it this way. I can't see why we wouldn't have named a new head coach before the Celebration Bowl. All right, y'all with me on that?
Yep.
All right. Yep. That would mean that if we got a new head coach for the Celebration Bowl, more than likely that coach is going to physically probably be present there. Maybe, just maybe. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. And how we handle this situation will say a whole lot. And all I'm going to say is you get one chance to make a first impression. For all the people that are out there saying what Jackson State didn't do right and how we could have done even more right by Coach Prime, this is a great opportunity to say, you know what? It's time for us to take control of our own narrative and show everybody how we get down. And if you show love, that's going to be the thing that they're going to talk about. If there is no storylines, if there is nobody booing and treating Coach Prime like crap because we still emotional 2 damn weeks from now. Listen, the Celebration Bowl is in a week and a half. Man, come on, man. We ought to be in a much better place with this whole situation than where we are now if you're still emotional about this. And it's okay. But what I'm saying is let's go have a good time because I'm going to celebrate. I'm not going to go be on no bull junk, man. No, I'm trying to have a good time.
Because Ken, look at this. Because what are you facing? You're facing 13-0. You're facing a Celebration Bowl victory. That's something that you didn't do last year.
He said, why do we think we did anything wrong? Hey, Will, I'm not saying that we did. I'm saying that the world is saying we did.
Correct.
There's a difference. You can say all day long, well, we ain't did nothing wrong. We ain't did nothing. Look, there's a lot of things that's being said that neither I nor maybe you can confirm or deny. So with that being said, if the narrative is Jackson State should have been did this, Jackson State should have done this, all I'm saying is that how can we make negative out of saying we should let Coach Prime coach and we should just go enjoy the game and we should celebrate the players? Matter of fact, if you don't want to celebrate Coach Prime, fine. Just ignore it and just celebrate the players and go have a good time.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
We can't possibly sit here and say, right, with all the stuff that he's done, the light that he's brung, the tension, all that he doesn't absolutely deserve it. You know what I mean? Like I can understand you're upset. He left the way he left. All right, it's cool. But if you really think about, and we're really honest, you know what I'm saying? Like, he has put a light not just on Jackson State, but on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, he deserves that, man. And he wants to do it.
That's right. And we don't want to go to Atlanta acting like Ike and Tina.
I tell you another reason why we need to ask
We got the whole other HBCU and their fan base gonna be there. We up there acting like like come on, y'all. We can better than this. Jack State, we better than this. We are. Listen, man.
Lock in.
Listen, there you go, man. I'm about to say it, man. The hell with what done happened. Honestly,
yeah, it's done.
It's time to move on,
another reason why we need to act like we got some class is because not only, like you say, momentum. Maybe there's a donor just sitting back waiting at the end of the year.
Oh, shot a lot.
Like, if we act the damn fool, they might be like, I'm gonna keep
hey,
my bill.
Yeah,
I got one for you. There is a donor. His name is Coach Prime.
Yes. Yes.
It's business.
Yes.
I ain't said I'm not.
Absolutely.
Jackson
I totally agree.
We severing ties with Coach Prime. No, we figure out the minutia. Man, we got listen. Don't have me go there. Well, we done took some folks back for some things we know we shouldn't have took them back for. You give it up. Me first. I should have never went back, and I did. I sure did.
Went back where?
Let's leave it at that, Randy.
I'm trying, Ken. I'm trying, bro.
Hey, Randy, you gotta leave it alone, dog.
All right. I got you.
Hey, just know, man. Just know, dog. You know what I'm saying? Ex-wife, bro. Listen, man. That thing was like a seesaw, boy. In, out.
Yeah.
Dog, come back. It was like, come on back home.
Yeah.
Let me stop.
We don't leave that stone unturned.
Hey, she might be watching. She might mess around and send comments. I forgive me.
Hey, Ken.
What you got, dog?
Now, to piggyback off what you just said, 'cause I've even heard, of course, just through conversation, that Coach Prime has even mentioned the possibility of having a out-of-conference game between JSU and Colorado.
1.5 million. Come on,
1.5 million exactly. So I mean, it's a lot of reasons why everybody should, act professional.
Let me tell you
dignity
something.
And pride.
Class.
I'm gonna be in Boulder, Colorado with JSU merch on.
That's right.
Here's the other thing, man. The man ain't losing partnerships. Let me tell you something, man. There's a lot of HBCU alums. Somebody said this last night. That's got degrees from PWI institutions that went on. I know someone personally that got a relationship with not a relationship. I looked at Jeremiah's comment and said relationship. All Randy relationships been 100. Randy ain't
hell no.
Moment.
No.
But here's what I'm saying. When you never forget your first, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You never forget your first.
Mm-hmm.
But people may forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And I really think we got an opportunity as a base and as supporters and as fans to put that. Listen, we don't know what all went down.
Right.
Because I know how I get. You cross me, bro. There's some beef. There's some stuff going on. I ain't trying to hit all that. You know what I'm saying? So the wrong thing to do is put the cameras on me when I'm in the company of somebody that I just don't rock with. And I'm just saying, we don't know. Coach Prime said something. I said this today. Coach Prime is a prideful dude, man.
Mm-hmm.
I also know that Coach Prime knew that the decision that he was making was going to be a tough decision. And Coach Prime knew what was coming. All you got to do is go back before Saturday and look at all the tweets.
Yep.
He was preparing for this. And the man said in the interview with Rob J, I had forgot to do my normal walk with Shador. So my question is this. What if Coach Prime just had a human moment? Because we think he's Superman. Somebody said, Ken, you over here trying to defend Coach Prime. Have you watched that video of him with the team? Yeah. I thought it was just hey, I'm leaving on y'all. That man went around the room and let every player give a personal experience about. They love that man, bro. The players don't feel how we feel.
Yeah,
they don't. And whether we like it or not,
felt like
facts.
That video right there felt like I want to leave, but damn, I don't want to leave. So I'm gonna soak every last second I got before I walk out.
But can I throw one more thing out there? When he talked about leveling the playing field, y'all know that Coach Prime is the first HBCU coach to go from a HBCU to a Power 5 head coaching.
Boom. And that's all it's about, Ken. I'm telling you.
So what if everything this man being here for a short period of time, let me ask you this. Would you be disappointed if Willie Simmons get a head coaching job as an FBS coach next year?
No.
Because he said he was going to provide a vehicle, right? We don't know. Sometimes you are called by God, man, and in the midst of it, you might think that you came for one reason and it be for something totally different.
Yes, sir.
And maybe I said this all along. Maybe what if Deion Sanders ain't the person that was really gonna see us through this mission that he basically put out there? All I'm doing is giving you different scenarios that you use to put the bull junk down.
Yep.
And let's go celebrate. And if it's a celebration bowl, I'm gonna tell you, I will tell you to your face. Jackson State should celebrate Deion Sanders, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The man gave us. I don't care about. I trust me. I promise y'all, there are reasons why certain things happen. And when Shaq, what you say earlier? Our hands ain't clean and everything, bro. It's not
right.
I just can't say it because I ain't trying to. But all I'm trying to do is implore this energy that maybe we could just look in the mirror, man, and see I could have been a little bit better, man.
Ken, this man was in a hospital bed on the field. On the field. It's a man that's worth more money than, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have to listen. His heart was there. He is being obedient with what is coming to him. All he's doing is opening up doors now for the next great black head coach.
I need to say this.
Go ahead, Shaq.
I need to say it. And y'all know I'm a spiritual dude, so right now this is going to be spiritual. Y'all, we sound just like the children of Israel when they was in the wilderness. Nitpicking and complaining about manna. Nitpicking and complaining about being in the wilderness and Moses brought us out here to die. Nitpicking and complaining about the circumstances because of the heat. Nitpicking and complaining because we right at the tip of the promised land. But we can't enter because we scared of the giants that we got the report of that was in the land. If y'all know this story, y'all know what happens. Okay? When the report came back that there was giants in the land, you had half the committee saying, y'all, we can't enter the land because the giants is going to eat us. They're going to kill us. The Most High done brought us out here to die. And then you had two people who gave good reports. Do y'all know who those two people were? They were young guys.
Caleb.
One was Caleb and one was Joshua. But their voices were not heard because the posse still wanted to do what the posse did. And at the end of the day, Moses had to intervene for the people and say, God, don't kill them. Don't kill them. Don't kill them. I know they stupid and stiff-necked, but don't kill them. And God said, you know what? I ain't going to kill them. But here's what I am going to do. For every day that it took you to get here, you're going to get a year in this wilderness.
Yep.
That was the punishment for our stupidity as a people. And we still got the same problem to this day.
What do you see? How does that correlate to where we are now, Shaq?
Right now, we got an opportunity. We got an opportunity to paint our own narrative on how we treat this guy exiting out of our program. If we are stubborn and nitpicking and stiff-necked, and we choose violence regarding this exit, you can expect for us to stay in the wilderness for the next 10 to 20 years.
Hey, to piggyback off that, I would say another reason why this is probably the most important reason. Ask yourself this question: who has the most to lose in this situation?
We do.
That's a good question.
We do. By far, we do. And that's what's so frustrating is that most people are right now in their emotions and they can't see it for what. So your emotions blind you. Y'all ever notice that? Is when you so.
I put a tweet out there saying, "Don't ever make a business decision under emotion.
Don't ever make a business because you can't think straight. Can't think straight.
48-hour rule.
You got to sit on this thing and contemplate and really ask yourself, what benefit, what do we gain, what benefit do we have by demoralizing Prime's exit right now and showing our ass? What do we gain from that?
Instant gratification.
Hey, you remember that thing where he did the interview with Earn Your Leisure? And he said, "You might not like it, but I ain't lying."
Yep.
He mentioned crime in Colorado. He might not like it, but he wasn't lying.
I just need to say that because right now,
I'm with you, bro.
And
I'm not.
I appreciate that.
It's not about defending anyone. What if I told you that you're right and you're right to feel how you feel, but you still gotta show grace? And somebody may say, "Well, what do you guys show grace for Dion?" But there's gonna be a lot of people that's not trying to hear that. They're not trying to hear you say you showing grace for Dion because of whatever, because they don't. The world does not support Jackson State's gripe right now.
They don't. And the last thing that we need
not at all. Not at all.
Yep.
They do not support our gripe. It ain't even justifiable. I don't give a damn how much we explain it. I'm exhausted. I was like, you know what? We need to leave this alone because we ain't gonna win it. Oh man, what'd you say, Keith Smith? Obedience is better than sacrifice. That's right. That's right. So listen, man, we spiritual people, man. You know, and at the end of the day, man, listen, I'm not getting into all that stuff, man. I'm not trying to. I ain't attacking Deion Sanders, man. I ain't doing it. I listen. I had my, and I don't mean thankful. And don't take. You see, people hear what they want to hear. I just don't have any animosity in my heart, man. I know that the dude has. He could be a great resource for years and years and years to come. And you burn that bridge, I think that we'll pay for it forever. And all I mean is that I'm in reference to the alternative, because if you have a great departing relationship, let Deion Sanders come to the conclusion that, you know what, maybe I could have done this a little better. But I love them people in City of Jackson. They took my kids in. It was some knuckleheads that was stealing, because crime, y'all know HBCUs in the hood. Crime is about proximity and circumstance. It's really centered around hunger. If you just go around Jackson State, it's bad, man. Y'all know that. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes it'll meet you at your front door, and we have to deal with that. And it's unfortunate, and we don't want that. But again, we all got to suffer for the decisions of a few. I say that, and those are the things that's coming back, and the stuff is hard to defeat because they're talking about the water crisis. Larry Fitzgerald today actually talked about Coach Zimmer going to be the defensive coordinator for Deion Sanders in Colorado, and he was like, man, Mike Zimmer went 12-0 as defensive coordinator for Jackson State. Now he gets to get a bag and some clean drinking water. And I'm gonna tell y'all what I type. I put Fitz, Fitz, period. I mean, comma, fuck you. And then I deleted it.
Right.
Seriously.
I get that.
Because you know why
You
I
got it
deleted
off
it?
though.
I say it, I be cussing people out on Twitter, man, but I never hit send.
Right.
And then I'll go back and then I'll edit all the cuss words and say shiggity or darn, mother loving. I say that because I really be like, boy, if somebody read this text message, I'm gonna be in the
You
world.
should have sent it, Ken. You should have sent it.
I should have, but I didn't. I shouldn't have. But no, what I did do was I did it in a manner that was very professional. I said, look, man, you may not care about the water situation, but the citizens of Jackson, this is a real problem. And man, show some respect, man. That was a very disrespectful comment. You know what I mean? By the way, Mike Zimmer just showed up to Jackson for a cameo, and we never saw him again. Dennis Thurman was the defensive coordinator. Scrub. And I just left it at that. So yeah, man. All we trying to say, people, this platform is important because this is a safe space for you to come into and recenter yourself. We appreciate everybody that come on there, man. You should have been in and already got it out. Seriously.
Man,
Get it out. See what you got to say.
And let me follow up on that.
Okay,
y'all
bro.
Know, for years, myself, Corey, and Mike B have talked behind the scenes of having an opportunity to have a platform to paint our own narrative. And this is primarily because back in the days, I know a lot of y'all remember the Clarion Ledger. We didn't call it the Clarion Ledger. We called it the Clan Ledger. That's what we called it. And we called it that because every single time you could feel the slight in their writing toward Jackson State.
Oh my goodness, yes.
You could always feel it. And I was like, I can't wait till we can have an opportunity to paint our own narrative, create our own narrative and run with it. And here we are, for the last 2.5 years, having Prime here allowed us an opportunity to create our own narrative. I mean, you have about 4 or 5 different platforms that people now have breaking news or information and videos directly on Jackson State. We don't need a Clan Ledger anymore to report on Jackson State.
Yep.
We can create our own stories. We can go ahead and broadcast our own videos. We can do everything we want to do because we have our own media machine. And when you have that type of power to tell your own story, man, that's incredible. It's incredible not to let the enemy tell your story.
That's facts. Yeah, that's facts. Solid Life. Man, I know you've been holding on strong, brother. I'm going to come to you because I know you've been, what you got? Then I'll go to Lumumba next.
No, it's all good. I'm just ready to go 13-0. That's what I'm looking for. Fired up, J State, fired up.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm waiting
be in
for.
the building. Man, I'm on one, man. Once I touch down and I got that JSU merch on, man, I ain't talking about no damn Coach Prime.
Hey, but now that quarterback do have some size on him, though.
Man, Davius Richard. Now, listen, y'all. Listen. I got something for y'all. Next time I come on, man, we talking about some football. We going to breakdown of the Celebration Bowl. It might be Saturday, it might be Friday, it might be more like it's probably going to be Friday evening. I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna spend the next couple of days really breaking down some film on Davies Richard. I know all about 2. See, number 2 is that dude, but see, they got a quarterback that went number 1 over there. He really that dude too. You get what I'm saying?
And he's stocky.
He a big boy, man.
Ken, he's a junior, right?
Yeah, he's a junior. He looked like Ken out there playing quarterback. A little slimmer.
But Ken, you know what? Their offensive line it's not really all that though.
Now here's what you hear, but here's something that we showed.
And they small
though. This is what we've seen in the last 2 games that we played, Alcorn and the SWAC championship game. Quarterbacks that have the ability to 1, 2, 3 get the ball out their hands have posed problems for us. You know why? Because we're blitzing and we're going man.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't hold the ball, you look at Glendon McDaniel, man. Bubba McDaniel got in there and rushed for over 100 yards. We gave up 100 yards on the quarterback, 20 plus carries, and he threw for over 100 yards. So, and he came in as a 3rd string quarterback, and we could not tackle that dude, man, for some reason. And it was because
standing your gaps
was soft. Now, Davies Richard, Bad comparison, but he is a physical. You know who he kind of remind me of? He's like a baby Dante Culpepper.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say Culpepper is because he's a physical kid that could run the ball. I don't want to say Steve McNair because people lose their mind when you say Steve McNair. So I'm thinking of another physical quarterback that come to mind when I think about his style of play. So the kid can run and he can pass. So they got solid wide receiver play. They have beat a top 25 team in New Hampshire this season. I know they lost to Campbell. They lost to South Carolina State. That was it. Everybody else they beat. They 9-2. Very, very good opponent. What Jackson State team is going to show up? I expect the team to come out there focused. But are the demons of yesteryear's past going to be there, waiting on them in Atlanta? Is the noise? The interviews, the questions. Is the noise going to be allowed, or are they going to go out there and just handle business? Are they going to go out there with their focus of one last hoorah and let's get this damn history? Let's win this game and make this thing 13-0. What we going to see? But trust me, y'all, when we come back on, I'll be ready for some real serious football talk. Who was that just started talking?
Yeah, but Ken, I think that's what that's the energy they're coming in with about, finishing this for Coach Prime.
Yes, sir.
Finishing this from the state of Jackson. We already have a historic season at 12-0. You got to complete, put an exclamation mark on your work.
And we need to, and I say this in Lumumba, you got next. We need to over-celebrate this team. This team is 12-0 and SWAC champions, and we have talked about them probably as less than any champion we've ever experienced. It's not fair to the team. We got to get back to doing what we do, and we got to make sure we celebrate these young men because they've done well for us. They have definitely represented Jackson. They have put on for the city, and damn it, the city got to put on for them. So that's why you go out there. And you know what? Don't treat them that way and go out there and boo their coach because we feel some type of way. If they can make peace with it, they chose to come to Jackson State for that man. And if they're at peace with it and they, you know what I'm saying? Not saying everybody, somebody might feel some type of way about it, but whatever. Might be a couple of the kids that hit the portal. But anyway, let me shut up. Lumumba, hopefully your mute button is good this time. What you got?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
There you go. Clear as day.
All right. Yes. Okay. I want to thank you guys for letting me come on. I listen to the show often. I want to start off by saying I'm born and raised in Jackson. I live in Dallas now, but I was born and raised in West Jackson off of Lynch Street.
All right.
Went to Blackburn, went to Jim Hill, went to Jackson State. So I'm a lifelong, I was born into this JSU thing.
Yes, sir.
What I want to start off with, I'm not mad at Prime. As soon as he said what he said, I started thinking about the formula. He talked about the blueprint that he left, but honestly, it's really not his blueprint. The blueprint for any major institution, if you look at these PWIs, what they have behind them is that, and nowadays, the NIL collective. And we might not have the major money amongst the 100, 200 people that these PWIs have, but what we do have is culture. And my thing is, I want to move forward and try to organize with people to try to find some mass organized effort to put our little pennies together to create a NIL collective. This only has the goal of going out and paying players for the whatever coach down the road can use to put on the field. Because if you look at it, the only thing that's different between us and these PWIs and how we level up is by paying the players. Back in the day, it was illegal. So really, I don't think our community ever thought about it and never thought about we had the money. But because it's legal now, all of us that are old alumni, all of us who have left Jackson, all of us who are still in Jackson, we need to find a way to organize ourselves and say, you know what, we might not have the the 120 million or $1 billion endowment. But what we do have is each other and our collective effort. If each one of us could put $5, a $5 membership in an organized, transparent, mass organization that has a democratic structure and safeguards to make sure that the money is only spent on contracts that have been signed off and receipts have to be shown. Me and a friend did some numbers yesterday. If we had 200,000 people in the next 500 years, I mean, not 500, excuse me, next 5 years that was in this organization and gave $5 a month, that's $60 a year per person. That's $12 million in a NIL collective that is meant for spending money on the players, on their nutrition to make sure we putting super athletes out there, and on trainers to make sure we have great condition, and also to support as far as, with the coaches and stuff like that. All we need after that is a great coach. And I also think that is a great selling point for any coach in the future when you can come to him and say, hey, we got 12 million annually coming in, ready to pay for whatever players you want us to go get. That's how the PWIs are doing. I don't want to deal with the state because the state has been choking us out forever.
That's facts.
The city is going through whatever they're going through. And also the Jackson State administration, they can't even pay players. They can hand out scholarships and they can deal with the facility. But on the flip end, what would this NIL deal, what would be the requirements of the NIL deal for the players? All we want you to do is community outreach, going to our public schools, starting a reading campaign, going to our Pee-wee games, showing up here and there. Because all my life of going to JPS schools, I never saw that relationship, the Jackson State athletics program reaching out to the JPS schools to secure that homegrown talent and raise it up and create a pipeline where our kids can come to Jackson State, because we've had great athletes.
Right.
Why do you wait till they become stars in 11th grade and 12th grade, and now you got Florida State and all these other players looking at them, where you could have been nurturing them from Pee-wee football to love Jackson State, to love their community, and to understand that by you going to this black institution is going to put back into this black community. And that's all I wanted to say on that, man, because like moving forward, that is the element that we are missing. We can't put it on the state. We can't put it on the administration and be like, y'all need to come up with this money. We can't put it on some miraculous, magical donor and be waiting for him. We, the people, have to organize ourselves, use our platforms to promote. If I can go get 100 people, get those 100 people to go get another 100 people. And all we need to do is keep recruiting members into this NIL collective and go out here and pay these players to come and play for us with the mission that, listen, this is for the community. And that's long lasting. It's not superstar leadership where a leader can one day change his mind and do that and do that. Man, I talked about, excuse me, this is the last thing. Ohio State has gone through 3 or 4 coaches that had 80% winning mark. Why? It wasn't because just the coach. It was because the program behind the program that kept it solidified, had the money, and when that coach came in, the players keep coming in because they're gonna keep paying. And that's all I wanted to say.
Right.
You speaking well, you speaking my kind of language, and I love it. I think that's the key. Shaq said something, the big Aristotle that you see on there, Shaq always tells us our greatest wealth is in our unity. The day we able to organize and unify, and we're really talking about group economics is what he really is discussing, and how we can do. And I'm not sure if you were on when many of us come together and we did some things for the women's basketball program. That was really like a litmus test. We were able to get some, air fryer, freezer, Gatorade, and took the young ladies to Disney, not Disney, but Universal Studios when they was in LA. And it didn't take but a couple of days to organize because it was very specific. It was very strategic, and we was basically saying what we were trying to do. That one thing that would be needed in that, we got to be trustworthy, man. This mismanagement of funds term needs to just stop happening, man. We gotta love our own. I know there's always
Facts.
levels of corruption that could always transpire, but there has to be checks and balances in place, because when you're dealing with that kind of money,
Exactly.
and I'm sure that's where the details and all of that come in. But bro, I love your idea, man. I really do. And it's so simple. We talked about, and I'll say this, we talked about 200,000 is a lot together. We talked about saying terminology. Remember how people were throwing out this $30 million in revenue that's supposed to be out in the city, right? We say all the time, we got 50,000 alums, and that's true. The thing I was mentioning last night was we got to figure out how do we do something as simple as make sure we're able to reach all 50,000. How do we do that? We start a campaign and a survey to figure out whether it be email, everybody has social media, or you basically let us know. We make a crowd surfing effort to get in contact with everybody. Okay. Once we get everybody's contact and we come and say, listen, this is what we're trying to do. Now you're talking about 50,000 that could do $100. That's $5 million. Literally. That's $5 million, just like that.
Right.
Okay, if 50,000 is too much, you're talking about 25,000 they could do 200. Slice that in half. Or what about 10,000 they could do 5? You get what I'm saying? It's gonna keep going. You got 500 people that can give 1,000. Now we're getting close to a real thing. What's 500 times 1,000? Am I tripping?
What?
What's
Can I
500?
say this right quick, Ken?
Bro, you got it. You can say anything you like.
Okay. Let me say this. I know how our people are, so I want to say two things.
All right.
So you say we got 50,000 alumni.
That's what we.
Most of, but our diehard fans,
60,000.
but our diehard fans are fans who are from Jackson who probably never went to Jackson State. So we got to include them too.
Facts.
Because it's so, and I understand what you're saying. It's always gonna start small, but the mission is to always everybody keep recruiting, everybody keep building. And one thing about our people, when they see the wave and they see what it can produce, they're gonna jump on that wave. They're gonna jump on that momentum. It always has to start with a vanguard, and me and my friends had conversations about this. The number one thing is to bring intelligent heads together. We have lawyers who have gone to Jackson State. We have engineers. We have computer scientists. We have accountants. We have all this brain power that we need to bring together and create this organization that has the safeguards, that has the bylaws, that has the mission statement, that has the checks and balances. To me, that's the hard part.
Yep.
Because once you have that organization that has all these safeguards in place, and number one, transparency. And another thing, it can't be a leadership, it has to be a collective vote. And you can do that in this day and age with the technology. And once you have a free to build on it, like you were saying, eventually more and more people are going to come to that fold. And we have to show them through information. Name me one school that's a top 25 and continuously a top 25 that doesn't have this platform, that doesn't have that formula where they have a NIL collective. And it's not just for the football team, it's for all our sports. I want basketball, boys and girls basketball, and football. But I just wanted to add that in. I agree with everything you're saying.
You speaking it. I think that's great stuff, man. It really is. We got some work to do, bro. and we can definitely do it.
And
And
can I add,
go ahead. You
can
got it.
I add one more thing about Dion? You know, I was talking to my brother about this. With Dion, like out of our emotions, a lot of us attacked Dion, and what it did, it caused a large another sector of our black community to defend him, and now we're attacking each other. And
Facts.
I was telling my brother, we can't attack Dion. We have to look at this like a great Kwame Ture said. When you're talking and making an analysis about your people, you should never leave out the oppressor. So if you bring the
Oh,
oppressor in the equation,
yes, sir.
we had momentum. And true indeed, Dion was at the head symbolically, spiritually, in every way you want. He was at the head of that movement. These power to be schools wanted to stop that movement because at the end of the day, for me, for my whole life, for these HBCUs, institutions in our community,
Yes,
this
sir.
is a fight. This is a fight between us and PWIs for our own natural resource, our athletes
Right.
that can put something back in our community. And I think that's how we have to look at it. And when you look at it like this is a struggle for that natural resource that comes out of our community, these PWIs were not going to let Dion keep going the way he was going. And just like they did with the Negro League, just like they did with other things that we tried to create as our own, they're going to throw the bag at whoever they can throw the bag at to stop the movement. And I'm not criticizing Dion, but I'm going to start with the oppressor first and his plan. And Dion just maybe knowingly or unknowingly fell into that plan. Now, we could be happy that he took the money, but we also have to be aware that that is a known tactic that the powers to be will do to stop any movement that's going to create black institutions. Because when you look at it, I'm looking at on one hand the black institution, which is going to continuously bring fruits to the black community as opposed to 10 or 12 individuals going to get $20 million from Colorado. I'm not going to hate on them on that, but I'm always going to go with the black institution because the collective is more important than any individual. So I just want to reiterate to all of us, we need to start spreading the truth of the narrative. It ain't about Dion at all. Take Dion out of it and put Joe Blow in it. If Joe Blow was bringing top-notch black athletes back to black institutions from which they come from those communities, those power fives were like, we have to stop this before it gets out of hand. And that's the only thing I wanted to say. I
Man,
appreciate
you,
you giving
you,
me.
you more than welcome to come anytime. You ain't got to apologize for that. I'm a big
Hey,
fan
hey,
of
hey,
100%.
Ray,
Ken,
for sure. Go ahead.
Ken, we got to bring him to the chat, man.
Yes, indeed, brother. Hey, no doubt about it, man. We the chat get way more spicy than this, man. Y'all know what time it is. You just certain
Yeah.
things you gotta, when we out in the public, you gotta be buttoned up, but you speaking it, bro. And that's one thing that's getting lost in the mudslinging. The real,
The enemy.
it's like,
The enemy.
get your hands out of my pocket.
Yeah.
Distraction, bro. Diversionary tactic.
But
Throw a rock
Ken,
in a pack of dogs, and the dogs get to fighting one another, and you don't even realize that it was somebody that actually threw the stick. But go ahead.
I just want to say one thing. I never went to Jackson State. But I feel like I'm part of this culture. You know what I mean? Like I understand what it is. I understand the actual struggle, right? So what I'm saying is it doesn't necessarily have to be the alumni. This is the thing because you're so hot right now, can go nationwide. You know what I mean? Like develop some kind of call in fund. it's maybe a week long, for the people who aren't necessarily in that culture to become part of it. You know what I mean? Because this is a Black struggle. It's not an HBCU struggle. That's the way I feel. If you extend it to people who just want to just give and not just put the pressure on the alumni, on the actual school, I think you guys could well I'm gonna say we can actually start something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing. I think there's a lot of willing givers out there. There's a lot of those that are willing to give. We just got to make sure that they know how to and know what for.
Right.
The how to and the what and the what, when, how is so important.
Right.
If we just fix that little tidbit, we can get so much further in so many endeavors. I'm so serious. Like, what do you need? I say it all the time. What do you need? I tell, when I was in management leadership, I always ended that meeting with that person. What do you need from me? And I listen, and then that's an important question, because that's what we should be asking Jackson State. A lot of us, now I might step on some toes when I say this, a lot of us treat Jackson State like it's supposed to be there for us. We're on the receiving end of Jackson State. But a good question we could ask ourselves is what are we doing for Jackson State?
Exactly.
Sure that she is in good hands, and make sure that, and this is what Lamumu was talking about. We're talking about making sure that we do our part to see that through. And we got to get in the mind. Not that we don't have people that, it's just that there's a lot of people that have the mindset of, things like just buying. If donations and giving to a cause is not getting something back. We have to be okay with giving it away without getting anything in return. Hopefully the return is seeing our university in the greatest light. It's seeing that program or those players that we're able to get. Lumumba came out straight up and just said, we're going to pay the players.
Straight up. But can you remember that Miami Hurricanes team, right?
Yeah, I do.
Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. You had the running back that went to DC, but I'm just saying that was Uncle Luke.
Yeah.
Bringing the money, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uncle Luke and friends.
That money came from everywhere.
Exactly. But
the only thing, don't stop, get it.
Right. But the only thing I don't like is that it was for the Hurricanes. Now, imagine if that had been, you know what I'm saying? You take the same concept, the same Uncle Lou type energy, along with like what Snoop Dogg had with the Snoop Dogg League, and you were able to pull all of that into Jackson State, and also, it'd be can be the same model for other HBCUs, but I'm just saying,
I'm telling you,
that's the energy.
We hope.
And listen, all it has to be is popular. All it has to be is popping, as the kids say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is make it hot.
Right.
And
but
it
Jackson
will
State
work.
is already hot. It's like,
boom.
You know what I mean?
It is.
That's why my point.
Right.
Sophisticated Southerner. What it do?
What it do, King? How you doing tonight, man?
Man, what's going on, bro?
No, but man, look, man, I gotta get up and go to work in the morning, man. Mr. Tyler want me to be there on time, but y'all got me up at 1:00 in the morning, man.
Man, what's on your mind, man? Besides work, I'm about to go to sleep. I don't know about you.
Yeah, look. Two questions. I think my first question, is there, so since Prime is already accepted this Colorado job and he's already kind of been on the recruiting trail, is there something on the books to say he still has to Does he have to like get like a waiver or something to coach in the Celebration Bowl, or is this just a
No.
part of his normal
No,
responsibilities?
he's still on contract right now, bro.
Still on
Yeah.
contract. Okay.
And contract don't end to the end of the month.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
He's still a paid employee of Jackson State. The contract in, he'll pick up that. What you saw him do with Colorado is he basically accepted it. It was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because you saw your dime piece go on a date with a new dude, and she put it on Snapchat.
Yeah, man. She got on the
Your
plane and went to Paris.
phone got stuck, and you just had to look at it. Stomach all hurting. You know what I'm saying?
and with his clothes on.
And here's the funny part about it is we still had dinner date. We still had a family vacation we had to do. So now you got to come back and we're gonna still go fulfill our family vacation. And I got to look upside your head, knowing you was just over there with him.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that was, man. It was very unconventional, uncomfortable, but I guess that's the byproduct of winning. We won the Celebration Bowl, and it ain't like at the end of the day, it is what it is. For those that didn't like the situation, didn't like Deion, they get somewhat normalcy, and some of us like normalcy, and that normalcy could be calamity. And we just got used to it. We're so used to being without having is uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because now I have to be responsible for all this new stuff. Now I got to maintain it. But some people, there's really people that think that way. If I don't have it and I don't need more because I don't want to have to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, to your question though, I thought he was going in the direction of recruiting. Can't stop it. He already
Cam Newton.
Okay. Whatever I was saying, as far as recruiting, as far as him still being in Jack, because it's a reality of coach don't have to come to Jackson to recruit any of the players from Jackson State's roster. If he want to take them, I'm pretty sure he'll let them know, and they'll probably more than likely be willing to go. The dangers is now they're going to a Power 5 program that's got 85 scholarship kids.
Right.
It ain't 63 with a bunch of walk-ons and half scholarship cats. You talk about 85 kids that's on full scholarship. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what Colorado's tuition is, but it ain't the same price as Jackson State. I can show you that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's the second question you got, bro?
Yeah, and so okay, all right. So it's like a whole bunch of noise out here. You got some Jews still mad at him, talking about they gonna boo him. You got some Jews out here talking about they ready for him to leave. He don't need to coach in the game and all that kind of carrying on. As a collective, we looking at probably majority plus one. Is there a way? How can we from a uniform basis to be like, look, guys, whatever you feeling, we all feel it. We all felt it, but we trying to move on. We trying to like focus on the game. Like, what can we do, from a fan base perspective? Those that are like, okay, you do have some count that are, they're not active on social media. They're not gonna post on social media, but it's out there. You know what I'm saying? So how can we keep them fans, to kind of keep the Jackson State coalition together for a week and a half, so we get fans.
You only got one game, and you start a hashtag. Don't boo Coach. Hashtag don't boo Coach Prime.
Okay.
Seriously, like just go. That's serious. Like Twitter, IG, all our groups, all our alumni chats. We should be like, look, y'all. When we go to Atlanta, man, if y'all coming, don't be on that, that bull junk, man. We ain't gonna boo him. We gonna, because when you boo him, it's the team run out with the coach.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And the boys love that man.
Yeah, they love that man, bro. I don't care what you do, man. I don't care what my mama or daddy did to you, man. Don't come over there, boom. You boo my dad, I'm gonna look at your side of your head. I don't know. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm just that might be a bad situation, but it's like they love him way differently than we do.
Yeah, that's true.
So when the team is running out, coach is gonna be in front of them, leading them boys out. And we on you're 12-0 to fit, two-time back-to-back SWAC champion, Jackson State University. Boo! wrong with y'all, man? You crazy?
Back to back.
Coach Prime don't run out by himself with the little, you know what I'm saying? He don't run out there by himself and then kind of go from there, you know? The team runs out with him. So when they run out there and they pumped up, we need to be loud, man. We need to be making some noise. The boom gonna be playing, get ready, and we need to have a good time. That's what we need to do. I don't think you can't govern. There's always gonna be a few folks. I'm not gonna call anybody no names, and I'm saying I almost say there's gonna be a few idiots, but that's disrespectful because you can't do that. Not call anybody no idiot because they feel emotional. They just still emotional. My hope is that in the next week and a half, folks better calm down and just be ready for some football. Because what we gonna do, I'm gonna do them a favor. Come Friday, man, we going all football talk. And I do feel like whenever we name a new coach, hey man, it might be feel a little different then. We'd be like, okay, coach moving on, we're gonna go on out there. Stop thinking about Coach Prime. You know what I'm saying? Just think about the players. Think about the players. Because you can't separate the two. It ain't no Savion Wilson, it ain't no Shador, it ain't no all these players that you say you love. Ain't none of them if it ain't no Coach Prime. So just think about it that way. And that would be my admonishment. Anybody want to add anything to that?
I will.
Brother Ken.
I was going to say, and let's put this into context. Can you guys imagine the narrative that would be painted if there's a divided fan base when we just went 13-0?
Wow.
And we get there and we booing a team in Prime? Do you know how social media and ESPN, Fox Sports, all these other platforms are going to pick that up and say, these Negroes are so ungrateful.
It's going to be bad, man. Don't do it.
It'll leave a sour taste in the coach's mouth, too.
Can I say something right quick?
You got it. I'm going to say this one last thing. When he dropped that nuke bomb on us, they're going to say, yeah, that's what they get.
Yep. That's exactly what they're going to say. They deserve it.
One thing, I think people can express their emotions in a classy way and show pride in the school and the conference and show Prime that we still here. But instead of booing, just start a chant, we are swag, baby. We are swag. And he's gonna understand he's not swag anymore. And we just saying we are swag. And it's sending a classy message to everybody that, hey, you know, the line has been drawn. You don't have to tell somebody in a nasty way that the line has been drawn. We are swag, baby.
Hey, that's great.
He's saying back against him. Just say who is swag.
Hate and celebrate at the same time. Yeah. It's like good water, bad water coming out the same hole. You know what I'm saying? Can't do it.
Hey, Ken.
Yes, sir.
One last question. Can you explain, because I heard him, I think he was talking about the buyout. Can you explain what that was? Like how that worked?
The buyout for Coach Prime?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the contract had a buyout clause. I mean, it used to be a situation where, let me be real about this, like our buyout, although it might not be as much as his buyout with Colorado. I don't know if y'all saw that. No. Healthy, boy. My goodness. If he leave after the first year, he owed them $10 million, and they go like $8 million, $5 million. It's like $2 million, something like that. They getting a lot of money back if he leave. But for us, historically, HBCU coaches are never really getting promoted to like the next level without choosing to go to as a position coach or something like that. I don't know what the buyout is for us, but I know that
$300,000.
Okay,
$300,000. That's what I heard.
$300,000. Then basically, the University of Colorado is going to pay that tab for him, and they're going to buy him out of the contract, and then he'll proceed to go accept that role for them. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's how buyouts have always worked. I remember Charlie Strong when I was in Austin and he was coaching at UT. He left with the USF, University of South Florida. In his first 2 years or so, I don't even think he signed a 3-year, $4 million deal. 3 years, 4 or 5 million, something like that. But what he did was, because of his buyout and because UT still paying his salary, he moved his salary to like $1 each year. So they structured his contract the way like his first year was like $100 out of his salary. It was something like that. It was like $100,000 or something, to where year 1, $100K, year 2, $100K, year 3, 3.5. You know what I'm saying? 3.3. So he was getting 3.4 from UT this year, 3.4 from UT this year, and then he got 3.5 from USF. So for the next 3 years, he was able to really capitalize on his money. But that's one time I did see that example. But for them, I think they just gonna cut the check.
So how would that extension year work? Because he got a year, right? Extension.
Well, I think the buyout total is already what it is. He did get an extension for a year.
Right.
The stipulation was, I think, if you make it to the Celebration Bowl, it automatically grossed him a new year on his contract.
Okay. All right. Because I'm thinking something else. I was thinking how it works when they fire versus when they leave. Okay, I got it now. I got it.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Brother Ken, can I say something?
Yes, sir.
As far as Deion coaching the game, I'm not against it, but I think it's wrong because of the human nature. Like, even with your players, I know y'all said that they love him, but these kids gonna have a lot of mixed emotion, and I find it hard that he's gonna be able to get them to play at 100% with the passion and the love that they were playing at. And another thing, I don't know, so I'm asking this question to the panel. Have y'all ever heard of a coach who takes another job and comes back, or takes another job, gets in the other team's gear, put their colors on, sit down at the press conference, and get welcomed as a new coach, and then come back to coach his team in a bowl game? I think most coaches, when they're gone, they're gone.
I mean,
But you got
precedent for it.
You got factors.
Well, here's the problem. The star of the team is his son. And I get what you're saying. I totally consider that. I just feel like Coach Prime is really dadgum good, man, at getting people to move in the direction that he wants them to move. He is good, man. He's good.
Okay. Well, Ken, let me ask you this. Since he's a great motivator, why hasn't he motivated the kids at Jack State to stay at Jack State?
Well, he said, we don't know that. We don't know that. Because he did say in the video, some of y'all I want to talk to, because when he gave his vote of confidence for who he felt should replace him or whatever the case may be, he was like, some of y'all are going to jump out there and, I don't want you to go out there and make a bad decision for yourself and get stuck. Right? So I don't feel like, it's like this. Some of the players, he's already decided who he going to take with him and who he going to offer and all that good stuff. We already knew that to be the case. I understand the notion of seeing him in the Colorado stuff. That was why I said that was weird, man. That was different. That was very different. The difference is we're on the brink of history. It's a very I think if this is a normal situation where we have a roster that doesn't have any ties to the coach, it's just his players, and we got a solid roster with a group of kids or whatever, I think in that instance that coach doesn't coach the Celebration Bowl. But in this instance where you have a quarterback who's the star of the team, who makes the engine that makes this team go. The dynamic that people keep forgetting is that other coaches that he's taking with him. Kevin Matthews, Andre Hart, Bartoloni, possibly Dennis Thurman. You're talking about who's the other person I'm forgetting that's supposed to be going? Bartoloni. If you freeze him out and don't let him coach, he can say, you know what? Now they can say, well, they on contract, they supposed to show. Yeah, you can force them to be there, but you can't force them to coach. They can be there, but they can stick it up and just basically sell. That could get ugly, though. I think I'm only saying we should just err on the side of let's just make this a good ending.
Finish the season.
Let's just make this a good ending, finish the season, go 13-0, and we write this chapter and we close the book and we move on.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Every point you made, Lumumba, is actually legitimate. Everybody, that's the gripe that a lot of people have, and it's the when somebody crossed me, I'm done with them forever. The only problem is, man, is that when you put that kind of application to a business, that's emotions, and it can really cost you a lot. It can cost you. Go ahead.
I'm not saying that he crossed us and he's done. I'm just looking at the human emotion as far as the players. I think that was.
I think the players.
But
the players.
I think, but they say they ready. But we look at human emotion. Not only did he go sign with them, imagine after winning the SWAC championship, you wake up the next day to see on social media he's in his Colorado talking to his new Colorado players.
Here's the thing.
You are going to see
I thought the SWAC championship was worse.
Yep.
Because the damn announcement got dropped via ESPN the night before the game.
Yeah.
And there was no conversation with Coach Prime.
Yeah.
You take Coach Prime sitting them down and talking to them. Like, again, we don't know the extent. We don't know what he said to them this week. We don't know. So all I'm saying is this. I get what you're saying. But the way I saw, what did we say? We said this. We said, when the team go out there, we either going to see a super duper focused, motivated team, or we're going to see a highly distracted team. We went out there and put up 26 points. Next thing you blink, it's 26-0 in the first quarter. It was like we was clicking on all cylinders. I had never seen anything like this. I think that they've done it enough. And here's the other thing. Coaches prepared these young men. I think we might be selling the young men short because he has the ability. You're talking about a man that talks about he brags on himself, his ability to keep the main thing the main thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
His ability to lock in and focus and get a team to buy into what they saying. They might be feeling everything you saying, Lamont, and they might say, but man, that's Coach Prime though, man, and we got to get this last one.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you
Wait.
something, Ken. Coach Prime is a special dude, man. He's special.
He's one-on-one.
Listen, this dude played for 5 NFL teams and maybe 4 baseball teams. So he's that's the way he is, right? And it's like, you know, he's going to have those kids ready like nobody's business, right? The only mistake that I think that he made was bringing Shador on that trip, because I don't know how
that was the issue to me.
He's going to be, huh?
That was my issue.
Yeah,
I didn't think that needed to be done.
Yep.
But I said, go ahead, bro.
Prime, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, Ken.
Oh, you good?
Prime told everybody when he first came to Jackson State. If you look at one of the many videos that he put out, he told everybody that was listening what his biggest flaw was. Do y'all remember what it was?
He said he put his expectations on. Well, he said it's the expectation. I think he was saying it's the
security thing.
No, it's the expectation of what I wanted and my desire to get to where I was trying to get to, and I was expecting that from them.
And and in addition to that, he said I am not very patient at all.
But
He told
I'm sorry.
everybody this. And so if we look at some of the moves that get made, y'all, again, I'm gonna keep this spiritual. Patience is one of the fruits of the spirit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And patience is tied to self-control. At the end of the day, I respect him for what he did. I understand the impact that he's gonna have not only on our program or on some of these kids, but also on the next program. But we also have to acknowledge that everybody that's pretty good has also got their flaws. Prime just not patient.
Right.
He's just not. And it is what it is. He told us he wasn't. And so I respect him for saying it because at least he acknowledges it. But at the end of the day, we have to be cognizant of what we can do to backfill and to make sure that we address what we can control going forward, especially in this Celebration Bowl. So I would advise everybody. Somebody asked the question earlier, what can we do? Continue to push this narrative that we need to unite and we need to allow these kids to be themselves and support these kids. We ain't worried about Prime. Prime is gone. Let's support these kids.
Right.
I'm just as annoyed by everybody else that is they ain't grateful. That just irks the hell out of me, man. I hate that shit. When I see that, I'm like, what do you mean we ain't grateful? Like as if there was some charity work done and coach didn't get a salary or something. And they say, well, he didn't. He gave away half his salary. They weren't paying his shit. And it's like, you know what? I can't win this. Let me just get away from it. It's annoying. So with that being said, man, it's like, you know what? Let's finish, man. Let's focus and finish, like he said.
And one more thing, man. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, we're talking about a guy that is literally an all-time great, right? So by being an all-time great, a lot of stuff comes really, really easy to you. And you're a hard worker. Now, I heard him talk about challenges. You know what I mean? And I'm wondering, was it just that he needed another challenge? You know what I'm saying? Now he could have looked at it another way, but Coach Prime is a football coach. I really don't think that he really wanted to have anything to do with the business, with like all that stuff. He came in and he won right away. You know what I mean? And I just think, man, like, I'm sitting here thinking, what all-time great became a great coach? You know what I mean? Like, I can't think of any.
Mm-hmm.
And he's special. And I believe that he, just needed another level. And then I thought, I mean, this guy does have health issues. So I'm wondering if he's thinking, how much time I got to actually do this.
I don't think he coached past a season past his son hitting the NFL draft.
2 and out. I think he 2 and out.
I think he 1 season after Shador. I give him 3 years in Colorado, and he out of there. I don't think he wants to coach past that. I think he really wants to coach his son, and I think he'll maybe stay a year after, maybe. 2 and out is I say that's a good one. You get Travis into the NFL draft.
You gotta get Travis out, yeah.
Well, somebody said, on his live, Travis is a wild card. I know Coach Prime said today that Travis will be out there soon, but I would love to push for Travis to stay at HBCU. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. How he can be king of the culture, man. You know what I'm saying? And hell, we almost need to start a Travis Hunter campaign. King of the culture from Jackson State. Stay. You know what I'm saying?
What about Shador? I mean,
what do you mean? What about Shador?
Shiloh.
I don't think Shiloh is gonna stay. I mean, I know he would love to stay, but I don't think he's gonna stay.
Trying to be in that band.
Yeah, sounds good. But Deion ain't gonna leave his son now. Shalimar be Shalimar gonna be on the women's basketball team. And
He's just bucking right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like that, bro. But
It's
we'll
like
see, man.
Yeah. Y'all
Can I say one thing, Brother Ken?
Sure.
About this narrative of what Dion was making, the 300,000. Dion was making way more than that per
Yep.
year because he was getting 30. He was getting a percentage of every ticket's over 30,000 at the vet.
Uh-oh.
Well, they were saying that they said something about he said he wasn't getting it. So
yeah,
I
he
ain't
said he wasn't getting it. If he wasn't getting it, look, if you go look at what happened at the Prime Academy, he almost ripped a dude's head off. He didn't get physical with him, but I'm just saying, Prime doesn't play with the money.
I don't play with mine.
He would have been gone. He would have been gone. He would have been gone a year ago if they weren't giving him that money.
Listen,
I don't know.
If I'm gonna say this right here, if it's in the contract and there's some money that need to be out there, we definitely need to pay the man his money. I'm not saying we're holding the money, but don't play around with somebody's salary, man. But I was told it was way more than what was reported. I've said it multiple times, but people are like, oh man, that can't be per year. I'm like, no, I asked specifically what was it per year, and it's up there.
I heard it was 1.2 million.
It's up there. It's close to you right there.
That's what it was supposed to have been, right?
No, that's where it was per year. It wasn't. His base is 300.
Right.
So everything over that was basically being paid. Of course,
But I would like to say this, and I love Prime, and I wish him well. But I want to say this as far as the Jackson State University. If it's true that he was getting paid 1.2 million, because of the narrative that's out there, we gotta show, if it is true, that this HBCU did something miraculous. HBCU coach that's making 1.2 million a year. I mean, because they really trying to drag Jackson State through the mud as far as, y'all was paying them peanuts and this, that, and the other. Not saying he shouldn't have taken a job in Colorado because, money is money. But at least show that we gave maximum effort from our institution. And I just hate that I be hearing people trying to drag Jackson State through the mud like that. And if it's true.
Yeah, they got a lot of information out there that I think is false. And there's another effort. There's some more information out there that says something to the effect that there was another offer made, and it was reported that Dion said, "Look, it ain't nothing y'all can do, and the amount of money you can offer me to get me to stay here." So,
and I heard that was true.
Yep,
I heard that was true, and so that's how you know that it wasn't nothing that Jackson State did that could keep him. This is a decision that was already set in stone.
Yep.
So you don't think something happened to make him feel that way?
No.
We got to keep in mind he wanted to go to a FBS before he came to Jackson State.
Right. I mean,
the AD had to talk him into coming to Jackson State.
You got to think about the moves that were made at the beginning of the season.
Man, listen, you got a lot of stuff. Go ahead, Shaq. Nah, my bad, bro.
No, I'm gonna say I just want people.
It was a delay. That's my fault. You talking? Yeah. My bad.
Just go ahead and look at the moves that were made and just sit back and contemplate and ask yourself, why make those moves? Just ask yourself. So the types of coaches that we brought in.
Okay.
And how you think that, obviously those coaches was getting paid a hefty salary because you don't just get Tim Brewster and Mo Sims without there being like some promise behind the scenes.
Well, I think it was more of a promise than it was a pay.
Correct. It was like one of those gentleman agreements. Like, look, we got to go through the mud in order to get to the pavement. So, so come with me to the mud right now, but I promise you we're gonna be on pavement real soon.
Right.
Okay.
Well, one thing I got to give to him, Coach Hart and Mathis have been with him for a very long time.
For free.
Celebratory type situation where
good dude too.
You ready? Oh man, without question. I mean, and he be in a position where those guys, after almost 20 years, getting especially Coach Andre Hart, who's a rising star amongst the
Yes, she is.
coaching ranks. And in a couple of years, like he said, he'll be a millionaire.
Let me ask one question about the bowl game. Now when he talked to the players, he said that his vote for the next coach was TC Taylor.
Right.
What do y'all think about and I'm gonna use the Chip Kelly. When Chip Kelly left Notre Dame right before the bowl game, they let the interim coach, in-house coach, basically interviewing for the job. What do you guys think about him possibly being there, maybe being in the press box as a consultant, and being in the locker room with the players, but letting TC get a chance to basically audition for the job before these other candidates come in because he's an in-house guy?
Only problem with that is this. I don't think we're gonna wait until after the Celebration Bowl to make a decision.
Breaking news, Ken?
No. No, I just from a
I know I was kidding.
From a timeline standpoint, I just don't see it being next.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about Dancy?
Dancy gone to Colorado with Dion, from what they were saying in the chat.
Yep, he gone.
Wow. Okay.
He gone.
Hey, you sound like me when they told me hey, man, Coach Prime was leaving. I was like, wow, for real.
Yep, he gone.
I'm not gonna lie, and it's not out of hate. I'm glad Dion is gone because it's like one of those situations where, I mean, he did a lot of great things that we can build on, but everybody knew that eventually he was gonna go, and I'd rather him go so we can build something more long term than him stay and everybody have that feeling in the back of their mind, like when is it gonna happen? When is it gonna happen?
Yeah, I see it. I agree, fellas. We got about 3 more minutes, man. I'm gonna let y'all close it out, and then we gonna get out this thing, man.
Hey, y'all remember them early '90s movies that had the central theme about being a nerd, being with a pretty girl for clout, and it was like, I think it was Love Don't Cost a Thing. Was it Love? What was that movie with Nick Cannon on it? You remember that, Ken?
With Christina Milian.
Yeah, was that Love Don't Cost a Thing or something like that?
I think so.
All right, y'all, we was Nick Cannon in the relationship in that situation. And Prime was Christina Milian. That's the quickest way you can break this down. We got something from this relationship, which is more exposure, more visibility, and Prime got something as well. So let's just take it for what it is, man. Learn from it, grow from it. We got a chance to play in the big boy leagues for a minute by going through this ordeal with Prime. So now we know what to expect.
Speaking of momentum, we absolutely need to continue that same momentum from the powers.
I'm telling you.
The media, those that cover HBCUs. We hope that they continue to come through and give us what we're looking for, man.
Yeah.
So.
All right, bro. I'm gone, man.
All right, Brother Ken, can I send you my email, man? I really want to link up with some brothers where we can, discuss and research the NIL collective, man. Because
no doubt,
I really want to
give it to you now. You can write this down. It's O Clark at O Clark 28 at Hotmail.
O Clark 28 at Hotmail. Okay, appreciate it, brother.
Hey, no doubt, man. Peace and
blessings. Y'all have a good night. All right.
You too, man. BA.
What's up?
Appreciate you, bro.
No doubt, man. Later, bro.
Yes, sir. Peace out, brother. Hey, man, that was a treat. That was a treat, man. I appreciate everybody that came on, man. This was a wonderful, wonderful treat. And, hey, man, I'll be back. Be back Friday on this thing, man. And when I come back, man, we're going to talk some football. So feel free to come in, if you'd like to donate to the channel. All proceeds go back into trying to grow this channel and get it to the next level, and so forth and so on. So It was fun, man. This is fun. Don't get out your best Coach Prime takes, and it's time to move on. We're gonna be back Friday. We're gonna talk about some football, man. We're gonna feature a couple of players. I'm gonna definitely break down the North Carolina Central roster, what we up against, offense, defense, special teams, and see what kind of team we're gonna be up against, man. I'm gonna go and watch some cut-up versions of the games that they played, and I'll be able to give a little bit more meat and potatoes on what we up against. Until then, I appreciate you guys, man. Go Tigers, baby. I love.